And welcome, you beautiful bastards. Tonight I am discussing Roger Moore's final outing as James Bond in A View to a Kill. I am joined here by Barbara Lawrence of the B-roll stage. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. That's a great opening, by the way. That is just a
Y-
kick-ass opening.
Yeah, you got. If you're gonna open in fucking style. Go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. And yeah, so you decided to pick A View to a Kill for this stream.
I did.
Explain why. Explain why.
Um, well, you asked me what my favorite Bonds were, and honestly, I'm a much bigger Connery fan than I am a Roger Moore fan. But
Yeah, same here.
Connery's been done a lot, and my favorite Moore film is probably Live and Let Die. But I have a special soft spot in my heart for A View to a Kill. I love Duran Duran. I love San Francisco. I grew up very near there and went there quite often as a teenager, and I love James Bond movies. They're just fantastic. So yeah,
Yeah,
I have a
the
soft
fun
spot
movies.
for this movie.
Yeah, I get why. I mean, it's not the best Bond film ever, but
No.
there is this sort of charm to it, though. This kind of cheesy charm to it. And
Yeah, I agree.
and personally, even though I think Roger Moore should have retired after Octopussy because he did have some good chemistry with Maud Adams, and him sailing off in that boat with her was should have been a really good fitting ending, but. This is still fun. You got Christopher Walken being nuts. You got Grace Jones being very
Grace Jones.
mysteriously eccentric, and Roger Morse, despite having a bit of surgery that's changed his appearance a little bit and being so bloody old, he still has a lot of charm in this movie. He really does.
Yeah, he really does. And I think he would probably agree with the assessment that he probably should have left after Octopussy, which I actually think, according to some of my research, um, that's what he was planning on doing. And they actually had already lined up Timothy Dalton to come in. And Alfred Broccoli was the one who convinced Roger Moore to go in one last time.
Yeah, and yeah, because did they have tried to have gotten. They did try to get Timothy Dalton in a few times
Hmm.
before Roger Moore, but even before George Lazenby, but he thought, no, I'm too young. Bond should be maybe in his mid-30s to his 40s. And
Hmm.
yeah, it wasn't until after Roger decided to finally pack it in that he did go with Timothy Dalton. But that's only because Pierce Brosnan was got another season of
Yeah,
Remington
yeah.
Steel.
He
It's
had
yeah.
some contractual obligations. They actually tried to
Oh,
get Priscilla Presley to come in and as the Tanya Roberts part, um, and they couldn't get her either because of her contractual obligation to the TV show Dallas at the time.
yeah, that was a very popular show. Fucking hell, what's his name? Larry Hagman. If I pronounce
Yeah,
it.
was
Yeah.
it popular in the UK?
Yeah, seems to be popular in the UK as
Oh
well.
wow.
People remember JR and all that. I wasn't born yet. I was born 1988, which is like
Oh,
three
okay.
years after this movie came out. So, but yeah, like you said, I love the Bond films. I think I was about 8 years old when I first got into it. I saw a bit of License to Kill, then fully wanted to embrace the James Bond franchise after GoldenEye and I watched Connery, and I love Connery, I love Moore, I love Dalton, even though most people don't. But
I don't hate Dalton.
I
I
know a lot.
really don't.
I mean, I get some of the criticism that he is a little bit more serious, but I think that's why I like him. It's different actors playing different variations of Bond.
I don't know. To me, uh, he always reigned as closer to the Bond that Ian Fleming wrote
I
in my
agree.
eyes.
I agree because I think Timothy Dalton really wanted to make it a bit more faithful to Ian Fleming, and he
Yeah.
was always reading the books. Roger Moore is very. I don't think he is totally unfaithful to the source material at times. He still has the charm and the suaveness, but he's a bit more like he's like someone who seems to enjoy what he's doing. Like he's in
Hmm.
for the adventure, and he always, yeah.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that assessment. Um, Or toxic. Yes.
Yeah, we get the comments up, so it's my fault.
Yeah.
Here we go. Pierce Brosnan is the Bond, best
Yeah.
Bond in the West Bond films. Yeah, I know. I think so. I noticed some Bonds have like different characteristics. They have some parts where they do well, other parts they don't. Like Roger Moore, I convince him as a lady charmer. I
Hmm.
don't convince him. I don't think he's always convincing as a cold-blooded killer. While Sean Connery had all those qualities, he had the cold-blooded killer instinct, and he was very suave and very charming. He pulled it off very well. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, and same thing for Pierce Brosnan as well, in my opinion. Daniel Craig convinces as a cold-blooded killer, but I don't see him as a ladies' man. I don't know. He always comes off a little bit too intense when he's charming ladies. That's always
I
in
would.
my view.
I
That's
don't know.
my view, though.
I liked him in Casino Royale.
Casino Royale is his best one, and
Um.
Skyfall is his second, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes, and I would agree with that as well. Um. Yeah. I don't view him as the lady killer. You know what I mean? But he's definitely got that cold blooded, license to kill stuff
I
going
know.
on.
And he
It's
convinces in the fight scenes as well.
yeah. But I think Casino Royale is probably the closest he'll ever get to uh, being the charmer.
Yeah, because I was really buying him as Bond in the Casino Royale, and I think Spectre kind of ruined it for me because I think they were
Yeah.
going way too serious now, and it was like this Blofeld's his bloody brother, and it's like, what the fuck is that all about?
No,
Just
it's
have
bullshit. That's
I know.
bullshit. I'm sorry.
I was
I
really
don't know if
hoping
we're
that
allowed to swear yet, but
we can swear, we can swear. Okay. I know,
Okay.
because after reading Thunderball for the first time last year, I was thinking, this is the Blofeld we should have had because there's a flashback where Blofeld has this rich guy's daughter kidnapped, and he promises that if he pays the ransom, he'll return her unmolested, unharmed. So he pays the ransom, he returns her, but then he finds out one of his men was actually sexually abusing the girl. So what did he do? He killed the guy who abused her, and they pay back some of the ransom money as compensation for the terms being broken. It's like, that is awesome. Let's have a Blofeld like that. Someone who's evil but has a moral code in a way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But the whole he was his brother thing.
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah. Quantum of Solace Toxic. It's got some good action, but it's kind of all over the place, and the villain's very weak. And I did like Olga Kurylenko. I think she was very wasted with material that didn't give her enough to work with.
To me, I don't know. Quantum Solace to me is like probably one of my least favorites. The plot was overly confusing.
It just feels like
it was
all
like over the place. It was
because I think it was during the writer's strike as well, so they were writing it while they were making it, and that just causes a lot of problems sometimes. Yeah,
I tend to forget about stuff like that when it comes to movies after the fact. Yeah, but you're probably right.
Yeah, but it was a weak film. They had nothing to work with properly, nothing cohesive, and yeah, and I think it almost did ruin Craig for Bond for me a little bit there until Skyfall came out, and then Spectre came along, and I was like, yeah, that's a weak film, and I can't really make excuses for it this time.
Yeah, I think Skyfall gets a lot of hate for too many member berries, but I mean,
It does a little bit, but I did like the fact that he was making Bond.
But it was a 50th anniversary thing. Go for it. Drag out that Aston Martin. Do it. I love that.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like we were getting a little bit more of the old school Bond in with the new school Bond, and it sort of like meshed very well in that. Well,
plus it has one of my favorite lines from Albert Finney at the end of the movie when they're just laying. It's Bond and M and Albert Finney, and they're laying all of the weapons out to see what they can use to stop him. And Albert Finney just brings out this huge knife, and he says, "Sometimes the old ways are best."
Yeah, I like that.
I love that.
Yeah, because Bond's an old school kind of guy, isn't he? You can't. I mean, you can put him in a modern setting, but he still has to be very old school. And I think the one thing that they lose on Bond in the movies is the snobbiness. If you read the books, he's a total snob. He's very peculiar about
Hmm.
what food he eats. He has a very high diet of eggs. There's always eggs and bacon
Yeah.
with it. No, scrambled eggs, everything. And I do like the books as well. They're very different. They do feel more realistic as well.
Oh, they're
Like
very
Bond,
different.
yeah, like Bond will not take his gun with him in certain times, just to avoid suspicion, something like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, the books are very different, and I can sort of see why the films changed them a bit. A View to a Kill is very different from the short story, but to be honest, I can't actually remember what went on in the short story, even though I've listened to it a couple of times.
Yeah, I know I've probably read it at one point because like when I was in my teens and probably well into my 20s, I read all of them, all of them. And I remember that From a View to a Kill was part of a series of short stories from For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah, and they're
Same
all on
in the same
YouTube.
thing,
Yeah,
The Living Daylights too.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, they're good stories though. Ian Fleming, yeah, he has his faults with some of the storylines. Like I don't think he's very good at writing women characters because when I read it, I thought either uh, Vesper in the Casino Royale movie was actually a lot more complex and a lot more mysterious, and I like that little change they did to really flesh her out.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're 13 minutes in, I think we will start with A View to a Kill. Now
All right.
it has its problems, but there is still a cheesy charm to it. And everyone in chat, thanks for joining me. And
Yeah.
let's get these screenshots up. Okay. And start. And yes, now we got the opening titles, and it's still the very old one from the 70s. Roger Moore looking a little younger. He's got the flares on. And then we come down to this. I don't know where we are. It's like the Antarctica or somewhere.
It's supposed to be Siberia, but it was shot in
Ah,
Iceland. And honestly, this
yeah,
shot looks so
yeah, because the
weird to
Soviets,
me.
yeah, because the Soviets are there, aren't they? But
Hmm.
obviously the scout.
But this
Yeah,
shot looks that opening shot looks always so weird to me. It almost looks like miniatures the way it's
yeah,
filmed.
I know what you mean. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look,
Mm-mm.
yeah, look like real ice. And obviously, you see James Bond here. He's scanning for someone, and he finds the corpse of another agent. He's trying to avoid the Soviets from catching him. And we found this little locket as well. No, it's a nice little moment, He's like, and we found a
Oh,
little
he had a
microchip.
family.
Yeah, yeah. It's not something most spies should have, though, especially in a land like this, because there's always a risk of the family getting compromised if the enemy finds out who they are.
Hmm.
But it's just James Bond. You can sort of like suspend your belief. And the thing is, this is actually not a bad action scene, even though you can probably tell that this is an obvious stuntman. Because
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's painfully obvious that it's a stuntman in
yeah,
several shots. And in fact, none of the principal characters ever show up in this scene. Um, it's all done by the second unit of filming, so it was just second unit getting opening opening shots and stuntman work, and that was it.
yeah. And it's yeah, because the second unit, I mean, does the actual director pop on to check if everything's going all right, or is it? I
And
don't know.
I don't even think uh, John Glenn was there for this. It was all second unit stuff.
Yeah, John Glenn. Yeah, because I think because he was a pretty good James Bond director. He did For Your Eyes Only and kind of made
He
more
actually made
actually.
yeah, he
Yeah,
made 5.
yeah. I mean, For Your Eyes Only. I mean, that really showed that Roger Moore could be a bit serious as Bond. He actually
Mhm.
had a bit of grit and damn man, he had a good revenge story. But obviously, he's being chased by the Soviets, and yeah, I can probably say agree with you on Siberia because I think that was still like occupied a lot by the Soviets at that time. 'Cause I
Mhm.
remember reading about it. And yeah, you can see the fucking green screen on it bit
Yeah,
when
it's
it
so
looks
bad.
so obvious.
It's so bad.
I know. And this is so weird as well. It's like you got the Beach Boys playing while this really cool action scene is fucking going on.
This scene was actually supposed to have tipped off the start of snowboarding, and the guy who does the snowboarding stunts in this is the American inventor of the snowboard.
Damn, man. So James Bond losing one ski and using the part of the was it the fucking snowmobiles
Yeah.
from snowmobiles as a snowboard just kind of sparks an idea that started the whole snowboarding craze. Damn.
Yeah.
That's some great. The song choice is baffling. I hate it. What? I love it. I love fucking Van Duran's. It's great, man.
The Beach Boys. Yeah, it's a weird choice, but yeah.
Oh man, I love it, mate. It is cheesy, but it kind of gets you in the mood. And honestly, I prefer this over the fucking miserable theme tunes we've been getting in the last Daniel Craig ones. Sam
Yeah,
Smith or fucking Billy
oh
Elliot.
god. Ugh.
I don't like Sam
Those were
Smith's voice. I really
those
don't.
are unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Billy
I'm
Elliot
kind
can
of
sing
over
either.
the
Yeah.
I'm over the depressing, sad, slow.
I know. Fucking hell, man. I know. It's like James Bond was give us a sense of fucking adventure here. Obviously escapes. He takes out the Soviet helicopter and manages to hide in this submarine
Iceberg shaped
disguised as an
submarine.
iceberg. Yeah, and it's being piloted by a very attractive 80s woman.
At first, I really thought that was Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, she almost looks like her, doesn't she?
But yeah, it's not her. But yeah.
It would have been a nice coincidence as well, because they were both her and Tanya Roberts were Charlie's Angels, weren't they?
Mhm.
I don't know if they were in the same season. I don't know if
No.
yeah.
Farrah was only in the season 1 of Charlie's Angels, I think. She came
Yeah.
back for guest appearances, but yeah.
Yeah, both have passed there, unfortunately, as well, though. Very beautiful women. And now that they have an arrest, they've got a nice bit of beluga and some vodka, and the microchip, which becomes part of the plot.
And this is the first of 4 women that he sleeps with in this movie.
I know, because it's weird, because when Timothy Dalton was cast for Living Daylights, they didn't want him shagging around because of all the AIDS things. And
yep, that's exactly right.
I know.
Yeah.
But this was 85. The old AIDS thing didn't come around till what, 83, 84?
Yeah, I'm
82,
surprised.
sorry.
Well, I mean, it was already pretty much ravaging a lot of the. I mean, just because I knew the area at the time, because I would
San
go to San
Francisco
Francisco a lot. The AIDS epidemic was already hitting it really, really strong. And I do remember a bit of controversy of like, is it really that responsible for him to just be sleeping around? And people, call that's only for gay men. It doesn't happen to anybody else.
No, but it could happen. It could happen. That's the thing. Even to straight people, it's
yeah. And then tides turned, and it was a really weird. The 80s and the AIDS epidemic was weird, man. There was so much bullshit morality surrounding it, and I think, at least here in the United States, it took this one young kid who was a hemophiliac who ended up getting tainted blood and dying from AIDS, that it really took people going, oh, it's not a morality thing. It can hurt innocent people. Okay. So, I mean, it was just weird. So, but yeah, once that happened, they really pushed the monogamy onto James Bond once the Living Daylights hit.
Yeah, and I think that was just kind of a smart choice, because I think Dalton plays the romantic Bond better than a fucking womanizing Bond, in my opinion. I know. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, yeah, she's way too young for him. I know Roger Moore probably did look better than most blokes in his age at that time, but I don't know, it's just kind of
It's
weird.
still kind of gross.
Yeah, and I think Roger Moore wasn't that keen on it either. I think he was a little bit like, I'm getting too long in the tooth. I can't be funding around with all these young birds. It's weird.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yes, yeah, but obviously they didn't think the powers that be didn't think so, so he just had to do his job and that's it, and trying to make the
Yeah,
best of it. And it's 5 days. Oh, and they got to get to Alaska, and it's going to take them 5 days. So
so
they got nothing
he's
but
gonna
caviar, vodka, and all have got to
a
kill
whole
time with
lot of
sex.
shagging. Yeah.
Yeah, damn it, those sheets are going to be very, very hard and sticky by the
Ugh,
time they get to Alaska.
gross.
Oh
and
man,
and here comes the opening credits. I do
yeah.
not. This is like one of my least favorite opening credits.
Yeah, the
I hate
sequences are weird. You got these women with all these weird neon hairs and shit like that, and it was
glow in the
like,
dark.
yeah, I
Yeah,
used to find
it's
it
just
freaky as a kid. I did, when I first saw this. I was like,
yeah,
these women are creepy.
yeah. Did not. Yeah, I don't know. This is like the worst opening sequence to me. Um, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's just weird because when you see these opening credits, you see very slinky, gorgeous women, don't you? And these probably are very attractive women, but you wouldn't think so of
you
all this
wouldn't
weird,
know it.
scary makeup.
I
I
mean,
know,
you wouldn't know it hidden under black light and day glow makeup.
I know. They look like something out of a nightmare, though. Oh, you get one that looks a bit normal.
Yeah,
She's got,
the
yeah.
the ones with like this the pale blue background and the silhouettes, that's fine. I wish they
Yeah,
had just done that, but everything else is shit.
I know. So obviously Bond is back at headquarters, and yeah, this is another sad one as well because this is the last time we see Lois Maxwell as Moneypenny,
Mhm.
and I don't think they flatter her as well because I know she's getting older as well, and but I think I don't know the way
But
they wrote her
I don't
could have
know,
been
they went
better.
out of their
Yeah,
way, I feel like, to make her extra frumpy in this
I
scene.
know.
Um,
It's sad because she wasn't a bad looking woman either, to be honest. She looks
no,
attractive enough, but not. But sort of like normal enough as well compared to the very ultra sexy Bond girls that he goes off at the end with.
um,
Yeah,
the sh other than Albert Broccoli, it was she was the only consistent throughout the 23 years that Bond had been running, from Doctor No until A View to a Kill.
I know. I mean, she had a fucking history, and I think she was going to be set to be the next M as well until Judy Dench got the part. And I would have loved
Yeah,
to have seen that.
I
I
would have
would have
liked to have
loved.
seen that too. I
Yeah,
think she would have been a pretty great M, and I
yeah.
actually really liked um, uh, uh, Judy Dench as M.
I know. She was great. I mean, this is a good example of having someone who's a bit of a modern woman, who's a little bit weird on Bond's womanizing and sort of sexist attitudes, but still has that respect to him. She still has
Yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah,
she's the boss though. She is
yeah.
the one absolutely in charge and doesn't, you know.
I know, and she still treats her agents with dignity and respect, doesn't she?
Mhm.
She lets them. She doesn't mollycoddle them, but at the same time, she doesn't. She's not so fucking cold on them either.
There was a funny little thing that I found when I was looking up trivia about um about Lois Maxwell, that she um out of all of her totaling up every amount of screen time that she had for all of the Bond movies up until now came into just about 1 hour of screen time, and she spoke less than 200 words in all of them.
Less
I
than
think
two
that's
hundred miles.
amazing. Yeah,
Damn, man.
and yet she's made such an impact on this movie.
I know. But she does still have a little bit of good chemistry with Roger Moore, but it's not the same as in Sean Connery. But because I know Roger Moore and Lois Maxwell were good friends in real life as well. She was in
Mhm.
an episode of The Saint with him, so they've had a bit of history, and you can still feel they've got a bit of a history together here.
Yeah, they had Roger Moore had history too with Patrick McNee, because he
Yeah,
was also did the Saints and another show too. I can't remember what it was called though.
yeah, we'll get to him soon, though, but I do
Yeah,
like Patrick Minnie in this. They do have some good chemistry as well. It's a shame they aren't on screen together that much.
yeah.
It's mostly the first half. And yeah, here we come to Q. He's got this little fucking dog robot thing, which doesn't really. It's
I don't
like
know
it's set up,
what
but it
the
doesn't really
point
pay
of
off.
this is.
I
It
know.
just rem-
It just shows up at the end, and that's it, just to see Bond being a dirty old git with a young woman.
it reminds me of K9 from Doctor Who.
Yes, I'm kind of getting vibes of that as well. K9 was actually cool
Yeah,
though. And yeah,
I don't know I don't understand the presence of that part, except to say, oh, Q's remind you that Q's an inventor.
yeah, it's mostly saying, giving a little bit of exposition on the silicon chips, blah blah blah, all that
Hmm.
stuff, isn't it? And that could cause a lot of trouble if handled badly, but in the wrong hands.
Hmm.
And yeah, because I think we do get a bit of some of the exposition probably could have been cut down a little bit and to make the plot move on a little bit. Yeah, and it goes
Yeah.
back to the KGB as well. Yeah, and it leads to Zorin Industries. So yeah,
Hmm.
and this is actually was a company called Zoran as well, and they actually had to put a disclaimer saying this
Yeah,
has
me
nothing to
too.
do with
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that. Yeah, doesn't have anything to do with them. We swear. Don't sue us.
I know. Yes, obviously Zoran's been buying a company, and it's kind of led a little a bit of suspicion onto them, and so the only way they can try and get try and get something on him is by tracking him down at the race course. And Zoran's horse is Pegasus, and this is where we found out that the horse is probably fucking cheating because he's
Yeah,
always winning the races.
he's
And yet,
doped.
yeah, and there's a legend up there right next to him. And yeah, I kind of like seeing Walken and Grace Jones up there together because they're both weirdos. They deserve to
Yeah.
be paired, don't they? Hail, Nix. How you doing, man?
Hi. Welcome. Yeah, this scene is so weird on so many levels.
Yeah, he
Because
speaks 5 languages but no accents. It's like, okay, is that okay? Does it
Christopher
mean he
Walken
speaks?
has an accent. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's a Walken accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah. She's so subtle. You
Yeah,
barely notice her.
yeah, she has no problem being fucking weird. I think I got a little clip of her and in an interview. Let's bring it up. Where are you? Here we go.
Are you wearing perfume? Can you smell her at all?
No, I've got my own body odour perfume.
Let's try and keep it on a slightly higher level, if we may.
No.
Are you wearing perfume at this moment?
No,
I'm
I
going to
very
leave,
seldom
right?
do.
No, no, no.
Minute, if you turn your back
no,
to
don't-
me
I- I've
one
got-
more
I have-
minute.
I have got-
really.
I have got to
this
talk
has
to
been
this-
going on too long already.
Well, it's only going to go on about another 6 minutes, and you're going to have another little part of it soon.
That's-
But
well, maybe I should go
let
right
me
now,
No,
then.
don't go right now unless you really want to.
Well, don't turn your
No,
back
I
on me
can't
anymore.
I can't look at you. Now, hold on, just a moment. Just a
Move
moment.
your chair back a bit or something.
I-
Gee.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what the
She's
hell
so-
happened there. I think
She is so out there. I mean, just wow.
oh no, I don't even know what happened. I think Russell Harty interviewed David Bowie. He did come across rules, so I don't know. He probably might have said something to actually piss her off, or maybe she was being a bit of a diva. Who knows? Because she was well known for being that.
She was very well known for being a diva, and
Yeah.
just oh my god, that is out there. Ugh,
She's such a weird
stole
woman.
my
She
heart.
is. Yeah, Lois Maxwell's getting all fucking pissed off because her horse isn't going for it. It's like, come on, Fluke, come on.
Well, that was a great little nod to My Fair Lady too, because she's like, she starts to yell, "Move your blooming horse!" Just like that was a line from
Yeah.
My Fair Lady when in
Yeah, we will.
Audrey
We probably
Hepburn
will.
starts yelling.
Yeah, we probably will come across a few odd lines as well that happens,
Mhm.
especially on the last scene. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Patrick McNee, and he's basically a spy as well. But he knows something's up with the horses. And I do love this guy. He's obviously not a proper field agent because we find out
No.
later he gets his ass kicked a fair few times. But he seems like a lovely old bloke, and he kind of look
He
like it.
does. He really does. He probably was a retired field agent and is now intelligence or something like that. But yeah, you get the sense of camaraderie between these two like right away.
I know, and yeah, he probably is like how a real spy is, because most of the time they are just these very ordinary guys, and it's mostly just gathering information and nothing like what James Bond does. It's from what I read about real spies, anyway.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and I love this little bit as well because he actually bet on Zoran's horse, and he gives the winnings to Moneypenny, which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
And he's in France now. He's in a nice little restaurant in the Eiffel Tower. That's kind of fucking classic.
Yeah, God, what's the name of it? Now I can't think of it.
What?
Jules Verne, right? Jules Verne?
Jules Verne. Yeah, it's the was it the author who did 2000 Leagues Under the Sea? Janitor said,
Yeah. There's yeah, I know that there's his specific restaurant there in the tower itself.
Oh man, I have to check that out one day. And yeah, this is the same way he learns very little information. He's like, this guy's obviously investigating Zoran, but he's
And I
basically
love
saying,
his name.
yeah,
Aubergine.
yeah.
Yes,
Plus he's
Mr. Eggplant.
yeah. So it seems a bit of a cheapskate as well because Bond's paying for the fucking dinner.
Yeah.
I know. But he's not going to get a chance to enjoy it. It's like, because
Nope.
watching this fucking weird butterfly show, and then Mayday shows up, hijacks it, and she's got this poison butterfly on that hits him on the cheek and kills him instantly.
Yeah,
and Bond
that
pulls
is
his
weird.
yeah, and Bond pulls his fucking gun out in a crowd. It's like you're supposed to be a secret agent, keeping conspicuous. That's a graphic shot there, but yeah, and he's chasing up the Eiffel Tower, and he's obviously trying to keep up, but she's getting the upper hand.
So that to me is just ridiculous that he is going to get tangled up in fishing line.
Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, it makes him look a little bit old and duddery there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, she does that fucking dive off the Eiffel Tower, which is cool. I always like seeing these stunts when they're done for real.
Yeah,
No green
practical
screen.
stuff.
Yeah. And he's like, oh shit, I've got to go all the way down again. Jesus Christ. And there's the stunt man.
Mhm.
Jumps on the lift going down. And he's trying to take this fucking cab, and the cab's like, oh, you're crazy English.
He doesn't even wait for him to say something, though. He just like throws him out.
I know.
Off you go.
Yeah, just take the fucking car. And nearly runs this guy over. Poor bastard. Once again, you get a fucking cool chase scene, though. You really do. And yeah, real stunts as well. And this must have taken a lot of fucking planning to do. It really must have, because to get that timing right as well for that car to land right on that bus. So good.
Yeah, I miss these kind of stunts in films.
Yeah, I mean, I know the stuntmen are probably taking more risks with this stuff, but it makes the danger feel more real because you actually are seeing men risk their own safety to make sure these are pulled off well.
Yeah,
And he knocks off the fucking top of the car. It's like the car's just coming apart every single fucking moment. It's crazy.
it keeps going.
Just keeps going, yeah. But I love that. Even though he's old, he's still persistent. He's still gonna get he's still gonna get the person he needs to get. Yeah, once again, he tries to jump and crashes through the cake, and That was a stuntman as well. Again, you can
Yeah.
tell. Look at that.
Yeah. It's
That is
totally
not
a
Roger
stunt man.
Moore.
No.
Yeah, and I think he gets up out of shot and gives her the cake, and yeah, they get away. And the chefs are really angry at him that they're all his fucking cake. Yeah, those are angry chefs. You ruined my fucking cake. You're gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Walken.
Uh,
Walken does that little laugh as well. He's obviously, and he's really getting into it. He fucking is.
you do a bad wig.
Yeah. And there was a deleted scene here as well where Bond is just before Bond exits the police station. He's been handed back all his gadgets that's been confiscated from him, and it just comes off really like something out of the Pink Panther. It's really cartoonish, and I'm glad they lost it.
Oh, Lance is sending you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, man. Yeah, sorry, get talking. Yeah, all right, Lance. How you doing, man? Yeah, before we let you, I thought I'd invite you on because you've known people who've worked on James Bond films well, haven't you?
Yeah.
I went to school with Simon Turk, and Simon Turk was in my class, and he was the son of John Turk, who owned Turk's Boats. Turk's Boats is a very famous boatyard on the River Thames, but more importantly, John Turk was friends with the Broccolis, and he designed all of the boats for all of the Bond movies, including the one in Moonraker that turns into a hand glider. He designed the big oar boat in Octopussy. So any boat in any Bond film, that was done by John Turk. So
that is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a niche thing, but I also know some of the stuntmen that were on some of the Bond films as well, and I've met a couple of the Bond girls. I mean, I can't call these people my friends; they're just people I've met in the industry as part, work and work events and that kind of thing. But I mean, the first movie that I remember sitting down to watch on TV with my parents was a Bond film. And I'm pretty sure it was Thunderball. And Bond films were a really big thing back then.
That was mine.
Yeah, because in back then we only had 3 channels, and you get a lot of movies at Christmas, and you get a lot of movies over a bank holiday, particularly the Easter weekend. And it would always be like, ITV would always be the people that bought the Bond films because they had the money, because they had advertising. They didn't have as much money as the BBC. So there was always this weekend at Easter, Bond is back on ITV. And you'd get this big trailer, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'd be like, Mum, what's that? Car chases, want to watch that? Oh, yes, Bond, you've got to watch that. And my parents had all the original Bond books, which I have here. I can show you them in a sec. So Bond was a really big thing with my folks. And one of the first films, not the first film, but one of the first films that we all went to see together as a family was, of course, the best Roger Moore Bond film of all time, which is
Live and Let Die.
Oh, piss off. The Spy Who Loved Me. Spy Who Loved Me, of course. I do like Live and Let Die. It's very good. But no, The Spy Love. Come on. Spy Love Me. You can't beat that big shootout in the Liparis at the end of the film. That's one of the best action sequences in a movie.
It is very epic. It really is.
Yeah, I will give it up for that action sequence.
Beats the other crews that make the armory.
Favorite.
We did a spoof of that with the Outcast creative, and I've actually got it as a recording. We didn't do it on the channel, but a whole lot of the members did it. We did a spoof Bond script for Christmas, and we did a piss take of the battle at the end of Spy Who Loved Me, and it was like, right, so you're all prisoners here, but fortunately, don't worry, the armory is next door. So when you break out, you can get straight to the armory, grab guns, and then go and take the ship. Anyway, yeah. So we had a lot of fun with that. But I saw this at the cinema too. This one.
Yeah, I did too.
It's my least favorite of Roger Moore's, I've got to say.
Yeah, it was his as well. And there is, like I said, there is still a charm to it though, despite its problems, and that Roger Moore probably should have bowed out after Octopussy. So, I mean,
Yeah, and originally he was supposed to do that,
I know.
and it was never quite clear why he did one more. I think they tried to get a couple of different people, and contracts fell through and stuff like that. And I think there was a rights issue, and it was like we've got to shoot within a certain time, and there may have been strikes. I mean, it could have been any number of factors, but obviously the Broccoli's just went, oh well, one more, Roger. I don't think I should do that. Here's a large paycheck, Roger. Okay then.
Yeah. Because to retain rights, they still got to like do something with it, don't they? Like make even if it's like a TV show or a movie.
Yeah,
or that
I
kind
don't
of
know
thing,
the
yeah.
exact story behind why, but it was something either to do with a time limit or strikes or rights. But there was some pressure on. Okay, we've got to shoot a Bond film within this time frame. We haven't got a new Bond. Shall we ask Roger to do one more? And he didn't want to do another one. He thought Octopussy was a good bow out, and I actually really like Octopussy. That's probably my second favorite Roger Moore outing, I think.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
mean,
of people
'cause,
don't like it, but I think it's a really good story. Really, really like it.
yeah, I mean, it's one that has actually grown on me a little bit more as I've gotten older, and he just seen him sail off into the sunset with Maud Adams, who actually does have some chemistry with him. As does it would have
They
been
have
a fitting
great
farewell.
chemistry because
Yeah,
they've been friends in real life for years, so they
Yeah.
already had a good friendship. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Moore, and her were intimate.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, he put
At
fucking
some
from what I
point.
hear, he was shagging around a lot in his
Well,
in his heydays.
I
So,
don't
yeah.
think he needed to try very hard. He was, I
Yeah.
mean, I met him. I met him, and he could charm the pants off anyone with 2 lines of dialogue. So
Yeah, he is. He's
I went,
he's a very charming guy. See if we
yeah.
can get a nice little bit of I've got a little video as well. It's a couple of minutes. I'll try not to show too much though, but I mean,
No,
it's just so
do it.
cool.
As Roger Moore sees it, the spectacular stunts are only part of the reason for the series' popularity.
They have always spent more and more money on making them. They don't cheat the audience. The audience goes knowing they're guaranteed to have a good time. We hope.
And you've done so many of them now, in all due respects. I mean, you're in your 50s. How do you keep up with the rigors of the role?
Well, you see, I've got these wonderful braces that hold me upright.
Locations took the globe-trotting Bond troupe from the French countryside to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge.
They're tough shoots.
Oh, yeah, 6 months.
Do you think you're overpaid? Underpaid?
If you ask me honestly, am I overpaid for the job that I do? Yes, I am overpaid. I think most of us working, lucky, successful actors are overpaid. But if that's what the market is paying, and a lot of other people in the industry are making money out of it, and by that I mean producers and distribution companies, then why shouldn't actors have a slice of that pie? We are overpaid in terms of the job we do. We're not doing something really useful like a doctor.
Life is good, though, for you.
It's very good. I'd be an awful ingrate if I were to say it wasn't. I'm very lucky, extraordinarily lucky.
The role has suited him well, though he won't say whether A View to a Kill will be his swan song as 007. He does admit, finally, that Bond, James Bond, is his favorite role.
If you weren't an actor, what would you want to do?
I would love to be able to sing. I really would. I'd love to be a singer. Always have that vision, of being in the bathroom and you open your voice and out comes Mario Lanza. It'd be wonderful.
Great in the
But
shower.
I don't think I would be very good as Bond, being Mario Lanza. My name is a Bond. The Cham's a Bond. Oh, it's happening.
Oh man.
He's such a likable guy. He's so that woman was she was loving it. Yeah, she was loving it. Come on.
Oh yeah, I mean, she definitely passed on her number. I mean, that's so him because he always would say how lucky he was, and I've interviewed quite a few people that have worked with him on my channel, including the chap that played his number one in a much unseen film called North Sea Hijack, which is you know, he's kind of like a Bond character, but very different as well. Set on a Die Hard on an oil rig, kind of. Yeah, good film from the 70s that he did in between. And you know, he said to my friend, you know, he just thought it was a fluke. Really, he never thought he had any talent, and he said that right up until the day he died, that he got by predominantly on his looks. But I think combining charm with charisma and acting is a talent of its own. Yeah, okay, you might not go and do Hamlet.
And the man has charisma.
Yeah,
I know.
In spades.
I don't think he is a bad actor though. I mean, if you've seen The Man Who Haunted Himself, he's really good in that film. He really is.
It's fair to say he had limited range, but within his range, he could do good things.
I know. At least he was entertaining. Short range, but a lot of entertainment out of him.
Yeah, I mean, Man Who Haunted Himself is a good. We should do a Chew the Fat on that. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
And incredibly gracious too.
And nice to meet you, Barbara Lawrence. That's a brilliant name because my mother was called Barbara, first of all. So fantastic first name. And it just sounds like a Bond woman, Barbara Lawrence.
Oh, well, thank you. That has always been my aspiration in life.
I don't like, that's actually a good one, that. Yeah, I know you mentioned it.
I can see. I've got something to show you, guys. I'm going to put my camera on for a second. I knew you'd get a kick out of this.
So if we can get you on full screen then.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'll try.
Here you go. Vinyl soundtrack to View to a Kill.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I'll show you the back of it as well. Do you want to try and enlarge me?
I will try.
Not something I normally say to you, except on a one-to-one private circumstance.
Let's try if we can get you on there.
I've got a couple of others here actually, because I always used to buy the Bond soundtracks when I was in my youth, and just go to the three dots next to my. There you go.
There you go.
Kill. There's the back.
That is awesome.
That's brilliant.
I've got Moonraker, which is I think it's one of the best Bond posters ever. Great poster. I really like the score to Moonraker as well. And there's the boat that John Turk designed in Moonraker.
That's cool.
You'll see as well. And it's funny actually because the song on Octopussy is one of my favorite Bond songs. The song that no one wanted to write because they thought they were going to have to fit the word Octopussy in the title. I love the way they just completely ignored that and went for something else completely, you know. But still got those. And
that is awesome.
I've got Spy Who Loved Me on CD.
It's one of these. It's also one of the few Bond films that really does detract from the original novel and is better for it because Bond's not even in that book till the end.
What the Spy Loved Me?
Yeah, it's mostly just about this woman who works at an hotel and she's got this past of sexual abuse and everything. It's real nasty. It's real nasty.
Most of the books are nothing like the.
I know. I think the only few I thought that was really faithful was From Russia with Love and On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Right.
And Casino Royale was a little bit more faithful, but it still had its little. It still took its liberties, and it was all the better for it.
Are you talking about the Woody Allen one, or are you talking about the?
No, I'm talking about the good Casino Royale, the 2006
the
one.
Good Casino Royale, the one that hasn't got 40 people playing James Bond in it.
Yeah, no, what the fuck was that all about? I mean,
do you know, it was bizarre. We rented that out of a video shop, thinking like it was a broccoli, cubby produced Bond film. Somehow we'd missed it because I had the book, and it was like. What is this? Woody Allen's in. What Woody Allen's in?
I know, and Peter Sellers is in it. I mean, David Niven, all right, is like because a lot of people wanted him to be James Bond before Connery was cast.
In his youth, Niven would have been good. In his youth,
because he was a World War II veteran as well, and he was a real tough gentleman kind of guy. And
he didn't have the physical.
No,
he had the charisma, he had the charm, he had the suave. So he could have played him. He could have played the Connery years. I reckon.
Connery was a better choice because he looks like he could physically kick the fuck out of someone as well as charm women. Yeah, they only made one.
Which is a prerequisite for up north, isn't it? So, as we know.
Oh yeah, it's very It's very...
By the way,
Mandatory.
in London, mate, they do a Bond. It's a good excuse for Barbara to come over to London. They do a Bond season at the Prince Charles Cinema every year. They've just started them, so I think Moonraker was this weekend. No, not Moonraker. We're not at Moonraker yet. Sorry. You Only Live Twice is coming up round now. So if you want to see the Bond films on the big screen, I go and see The Spy Who Loved Me every year there. And they always have 2 screenings of it, and I go to both of them. I go to the Tuesday one and the Saturday one. And
what a treat that would be.
It's funny, there's about a cluster of about 30 blokes around my age that are always at both screenings. And some of them are the crew that worked on the films that go back. If you talk to them in the bar, there'll be people that worked at Pinewood and all of that, you know. And it's kind of nuts.
I know. But yeah, that sounds real good. Plus, I'm actually learning to drive. So hopefully, once I start getting my license, I might come down to London and check them out with you one day.
Well, mate, I'll give you the dates, and we'll go into. There's a Saturday one. There's a group of us going already. So yeah, you'd be welcome. You can crash at mine. Come down on the Saturday. Go back on the Sunday.
Yeah. Once I learn to drive and get my license, I should have done it.
Get a train, man. There are these things called trains that link the towns together. You can get one of those.
Let's see what happens as well.
Anyway, we digress. Patrick Macnee, wasn't he great in this?
He was great. Yeah, he's very funny, and I love the chemistry with him and Roger. And I was saying this with Barbara. He seems more like what a real spy would be like, and he's sort of thrust into this more adventurous kind of role with Roger. Something he's not very well prepared for.
Yeah, I mean, again, Macnee and Moore, big friends already before they did this movie. Macnee, of course, did the Avengers and the New Avengers, and so that was another treat that I got.
Macnee was actually the 4th person from that show to actually be in a Bond movie, because Honor Blackman was in one, Diana Rigg, and Joanna Lumley.
Yeah. All the girls were in one, but none of the blokes until then. No. And then he's like, okay, you can be in it now.
And obviously Patrick Macnee is he's kind of a good character because he can get Bond into Zorin to investigate and find out what's happening with the horses and what's causing them to be very successful in races.
That actor that you just saw is a really respected French actor.
Completely dubbed in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of actors are dubbed in these franchises.
They dubbed him? Are you sure he wasn't redubbed by his own voice? Because he can speak English.
I don't know. It was just one of the little pieces of trivia that I was looking for.
I want to say that's Patrick. I'm pretty sure it's Patrick Buchow. Let me double check. Yeah, View to Kill, Scarpine. Yeah, he would have probably done his lines on set. But for whatever reasons, they had to redub them in post. It's probably his voice.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Because I was reading him like,
crap
they dubbed him, really?
He can speak. He's totally fluent in English.
He seems. Yeah, because he seems like he's got a good look to him as well. He's got a good villainous look. He's got a scar on his face and everything, and he's well dressed. But I don't think he gets much material to work with though to make him truly memorable here.
No, he doesn't. If you want to see him give a really good performance, check out the 1993 film And the Band Played On, which has got more A-list actors in it than you can shake a fist at. And
check that out.
Fantastic true story about the doctors trying to find out the cause of HIV when it first broke out in America, and he plays one of the French doctors who are trying to do the same thing in Paris, and he's part of the French team, and they were actually the people that discovered the virus.
That's right.
Yeah, he's fantastic
now.
Yeah, Matthew Modine is the lead in that film. Fantastic film.
He's a good actor. Yeah.
I've got to do an episode about that on my channel actually.
Yeah, and I don't love Patrick Macnee. He does. He may not be the best fighter. He may not be the toughest, but he's determined. Though he's determined to find out what's going on.
Did they give him something to do with a brolly in this
was
film?
Was that Marty McFly? It totally just looked like some kid in a red vest and
Red body warmer and a check shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah, fucking hell.
I was like, is that Marty
Put
McFly?
Marty McFly's clothes between them in that shot.
Yeah. Suspicious things are happening. The horse has disappeared. Whoa, what's going on here? Yeah. Obviously, Roger Moore's infiltrating. He's pretending to be this fucking bored playboy who's out to give horses a go because he's been left, blah, 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 keep cover. And I do like the little moments CS here where, look, Alison Doty before Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
She turned 18 on set during this film.
I bet Roger was there with a present on that day.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pick your own acting names, you know. Why would you have
Alison
Doody as
Doody?
Well, she was in
such a gorgeous woman with a such a gorgeous woman with an unfortunate name. It's
she's not a bad actress.
No, she's not.
No, it's she's a very good actress.
She's this. There's one other person in this movie that is also part of the Indiana Jones franchise.
I'll try and see if we can get some.
All right.
Give me a second and I'll get there. It's on the tip of my tongue. The guy with the tails going nuts.
It's not the it's not the same movie that they were in, but
Julian Glover.
No, not someone from Last Crusade. It's someone from Raiders, isn't it?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I know I might be wrong. There are only 3 Indiana Jones films, so if you're talking about any,
that's right. There are only 3 Indiana Jones.
Hardcore agree.
And a pretty good young Indiana Jones TV show. That was pretty good.
I liked that. That was very.
They
cute.
spent some money on that. It looked pretty good.
You'll recognize him when we get to him. I promise.
Yeah. Point us out in case I miss him.
No. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's going to come to me any sec.
Simple adore.
I know. David Yip.
Yep. There you go.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah.
First indie, of course. Yeah,
he works at the bloody fish market, doesn't he? Jesus Christ. I know. Yeah, fucking hell. I thought I recognised him earlier. It was like,
I was. I recommend when Adam and I were watching this the other night to prepare for it. I go, oh yeah, he's in Temple of Doom. And he's like, he plays the I go first.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he plays another sidekick who gets killed off pretty quickly then.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a setup that he's going to be like in the whole film, and then within 5 minutes he's dead. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And poor Patrick Meneas was carrying all his cases, and he's like, "Stop wheezing, Tibbets, please."
Yeah, that's quite funny.
As Grace Jones as well, looking awesome as ever. Really awesome.
Hidden in that jug, Oh man, I read all the stories about her, both on this film and
I
know so many people that have met her or worked with her, and the stories range from the incredible acts of generosity to the outright mean, crazy shit that she's pulled at.
I think
extremes in every sense.
I've just got a clip of it as well. It's from YouTube, but it looks like it was recorded off someone's telly source. I do apologise, but you still get its information across. Well, I'll play it now.
When it came to Roger's final Bond outing, A View to a Kill, many people, including himself, felt that at 56 he was possibly past his best. And age wasn't the only difficult thing he had to contend with. There was another problem, in the shape of a rather tricky co-star, Grace Jones.
I'm afraid my diplomatic charm was stretched to the limit with Grace. Every day in her dressing room, which was adjacent to mine, she played very loud music. One day I snapped. I marched into her room, pulled the plug out, and then went back to my room, picked up a chair and flung it at the wall. The dent is still there.
On December the 3rd, 1985, 12 years after Live and Let Die, Roger announced that he was retiring as James Bond. The end of an era. He was then 58, and said at the prospect of more bullets and bombs, and girls half his age. It was starting to get a bit daft.
I was beginning to.
Yeah, so then, so yeah, he had a guy who was very charming and very calm and very cool, lost his temper because of Grace Jones. She must have, she must have really done something there to made him that way.
Well, he was a man of manners, and Grace Jones is a lady who's very in your face at all times, and it's her way or the highway, you know. And
Yeah, I know, because I don't know whether I would want to hang out with Grace Jones or just be like,
I would definitely hang out with Grace Jones.
Oh, I would definitely hang out with her.
I mean, I'd insist that she brings lots of lubricant, but I would be there. You know, it would be a night you would never forget, or it might be a night you don't remember because.
Oh well, that'd be adventurous sometimes.
I mean, I know people that have hung out with her and they've had both of those versions. So, yeah, she's, you know, but at the end of the day, life would be so boring without characters like that in our world, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think you just because we all have friends who are a little bit more crazy, and you just got to have a hang on them sometimes. Sometimes some people you love having them in, some are too much, but it just depends on what kind of a person you are and your temperament.
Yeah.
I think the polite word is eccentric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think sometimes we don't need characters though. It just depends on how far they go with it. It's, you know, some pull it off, some end up being twats. It's different parts. It's how you view it. But But once again, Roger Moore's pretending to be this arsehole rich guy who mistreats his fucking valet, and it's really funny. It really does. It makes me laugh. Oh,
this scene was cool. This scene was cool.
Yeah, I think some of the slides just went out of order again. I'll unshare the screen and get back on track. Yeah, this is
she's, I mean, in America, you know, she was, you know, it was the music scene and MTV, and just being outlandish was the job. But yeah, I would definitely take a night out with Grace Jones, man. That would be
that would be one for the records. Barbara.
What's that?
I said I admire your resilience and bravery. I mean, I'm along with you for the ride. I'll take the photos. You know, it's shit. Listen. I could tell you stories off camera about Grace Jones, but not on a live stream.
I'd love to hear them.
But yeah, just send me a £50 super chat. No, but I mean, the latest one, for example, it's not that old. This is two years ago, I think. She did her first concert after the pandemic in London, and she was due to come on stage. There was a support act at 8. She was due to come on stage at 9:30, right? And this is a big gay club in London. Luke's there all the time. And anyway, but she didn't come on until 1 in the morning. 1.
What?
And by the time it got to midnight, everybody was like screaming murder because, you know, some people have come quite a long way, but they timed it so that they could get back to Euston or King's Cross Station. They could get that half midnight train, that you know, 1 o'clock train, the last train back to Leeds or whatever. And as part of, you know, she almost got booed when she came on because the crowd had turned quite hostile, and she turned them round in a second. And one of the things she said to turn them round, and I'm not quoting verbatim here because I wasn't there, it was something along the lines of, "Shut the F up. You guys are all going to take lots of drugs tonight. You're going to be up for hours. Just stay here and party with me. Have a good time and catch the train back in the morning." And that was it. They all laughed and shut up, and she had them after that. And you know, I mean, So I think if it wasn't a gay club, they probably wouldn't have been as forgiving.
Probably.
But apparently it was a really good gig and it was a lot of fun. And she danced around with the energy of a 20-year-old, and looked in amazing shape. And isn't she like in her 70s now?
Yeah, she's still killing it. Fucking hell. I do apologise, but a lot of screenshots that I put on have just gone missing, and it was mostly the scenes where they're investigating the lab and they come into the fights with the two older bodyguards.
Mate, put this one up. This is a good one from around the part of the script around the part of the movie you were in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And this is at the party where. Yeah, he's trying to find out information. He finds the check that's supposed to be sent to Tanya Roberts. He spots Tanya Roberts. He's flirting with her. It's kind of weird, but Roger Moore's still trying to lay as much charm on as he can. And obviously Grace Jones is cock blocking him. It's
This is it's a great photo of the two of them.
Yeah.
And they had really good chemistry, and apparently they got on really, really well.
And I bar that. These are two very weird, very eccentric people. So I totally bar that we get on.
I think they connected over there. Unique personalities, and got on great. But I think Walken and her also, they rehearsed all of their scenes privately as well, and tried out all kinds of shit in terms of like pranks and stuff as well. And they'd like, for example, they'd rehearse like 4 extra lines that they'd make up on the end of scenes, and they'd carry on doing the scene with the extra lines, and the crew would be like, are we cutting? Is this in the rewrite? What's going on? And it would just be like really funny, like crazy shit. A lot of the stuff for Walken's character, he came up with himself. The character wasn't quite as psychotic as on paper as he ended up being in the movie. I don't know if you know.
Yeah. I think you kind of need him to be a bit psychotic because you're dealing with a film that hasn't really got the best script. So it really does bring a lot more. It brings a lot more to the table.
Well, he has to be really if he's going to machine gun all of his own men at the end of the movie.
I know.
And Roger Moore hated that scene, but I actually think it's really good because it kind of brings us back to reality again. Hang on, this isn't a cartoon bad guy. He's actually a psychopath.
Yeah.
Who's planning on killing lots more people.
The fact that they explained that he was, experimented on by, a Yahtzee scientist, so brings home the point that he was made to be a psychopath.
Well, it's like a weapon, isn't he? Like weaponized, experimental soldier.
Yahtzee, I've got that board game. If you remember it.
Yeah.
The after dinner board game for parties. Yeah. I don't know if there's a whole load of stills here, mate. I don't know if you want me to put some more up.
Yeah, it's just the scenes from where they're investigating the lab and they come across Zorin's henchmen, which are old enough to be passable for Roger Moore to take on, because if it was younger guys, it would have been very laughable.
He's got a number of very suspicious body doubles in this film. I think you were talking about it before I came on.
And poor Patrick Mannee's getting his ass kicked as well. He's just like he doesn't belong in the field. This guy, he should be retired. He should be gardening. He should be just down the pub with his old friends. It's Bond's just throwing him in here.
I like his character. His character is good. His character is one of the good things about the film. James Jones's character is a good character. You don't have many villains in Bond movies who switch sides. In fact, I think she might be the only one. I can't think of another henchman. Oh, apart from Jaws, he did that in Moonraker. So Jaws and her may be the only sort of henchmen that have, switched sides for whatever reason. Mainly because they realise they're working.
Well, her line at that is just fantastic. I thought that creep loved me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we come across where they have knocked out the guards, and now they have to get back to the rooms now because the tapes ran out like 5 minutes ago, and and they're sparring, aren't they? But it's looking like they probably do this a few times as well. Probably they'll get their rocks off of each other, fighting each other.
I don't doubt it for a minute, and I've got another good still of that scene for you, mate.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
There you go.
Let's get it up. Yeah.
Looks like he's having a good time with Grace Jones there. That's what
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's one of those films that just cracks me up laughing because it's so bizarre seeing them to get hold of each other.
Yeah. I mean, it works. It works.
Yeah.
Characters. I don't know what it is about this film that doesn't make it hold together. I think a big part of it is it was one too many for more. He is a bit too old for the character.
Yeah, I know.
I think the gags, the joke gags in it are mostly not funny. They're a bit cheese. They're just cheesy kind of. Am I supposed to laugh? That's
yeah. So, Roger Moore is obviously trying his best with what material he has because he's like the consummate professional, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, he's not phoning it in. He's doing his best with what he's got. I don't think Roger ever phones in. He always does his best. Well, it's very professional, like you say.
Yeah, I think because I noticed he had a bit of surgery as well when he did this because his face does look a little different. His mole's gone, and he was very honest about it as well. People were saying, "Oh, did you have surgery?" And it's like nonsense. I had surgery twice. God, he took the piss out of himself a lot.
Time. Yeah, I mean the other problem I think the film has is that him and Tanya Roberts she's I mean, God rest her soul, she was one of the women on the planet with the most beautiful eyes of any actress.
Yeah, she was a god. Yeah, she was god. She's not the best actress in this though, but man, she was a stunning woman though. She
was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and she got the parts because of those looks, not because of her acting ability, which sadly didn't match.
Yeah, even John Glenn had said that he thought she was the most beautiful of all the Bond girls. And she really is. She's a looker, man. She is just stunning. But whoa.
I know, and it's a shame the bloody screenshots have disappeared because I would have got them, but we'll still see her later on. So it's not sort of loss.
I've got a story for you about John Glenn if you want to hear it quickly.
Yeah, I like John Glenn.
So when I was at Alan Tompkins' memorial service, so Babara, for your benefit, he was the art director on a few films you might have heard of, Bridge Too Far, Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a really good friend of mine. And I was given by his widow, I was given the main speech to do at his memorial service. I didn't know that until I got there, but anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I did a big speech about him. And when I get to my table, there's name places on all the places for the table. And so you could see who you were sitting next to, and I see the name card next to me, John Glenn, and I was like, "Oh, you're joking! I'm going to be sitting next to one of the Bond directors and first assistant director on most of the Bond film. This is amazing. Thanks, Alan. It's a terribly sad occasion, but I was so excited. But then he didn't turn up because he had pneumonia.
Oh no!
So he never made it, unfortunately. But I did meet the director. Also sitting on my table was the director of Rambo 3. And Peter, and he came and did a interview on my channel, which we showed too many clips of the film, so it got banned. So I'm hoping to get it back. Yeah, that was one of my early interviews.
Yeah, YouTube are a pain in the ass, they really are. But yeah, this is obviously another stunt man. Yeah, Roger Moore fucking jumping on the bridge.
Yeah, Roger didn't do. I mean, he did some soft stunts early on, but he had a body double for.
Yeah, he was always honest about it, though, wasn't he?
Oh, always, of course.
He did one that was somewhat major. I mean, it wasn't used for like the big stuff, but that really was him driving the fire truck.
Oh yeah.
The stunt team that they had hired, the stunt drivers was too short. His feet wouldn't reach the pedals. And so Roger Moore stepped in to drive, and he had credited the fact that he had been a lorry driver in his youth.
Yeah,
before he
I
became an
heard that
actor.
story. That's right.
Yeah, I thought that was rather unique and charming.
Yeah, just like Roger himself.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do like this moment here where he knows he's going to get found out, so he has to adapt and say, "Yes, you said you take care of me personally, didn't you?" So he's stuck into Mayday's room, and so yeah, Mayday starts to sleep with him, and he looks a bit. He's trying to not look pissed off as well. He really is. Yeah, look at that face.
Hey, it's still there. That's a good one.
Well, look how scared he looks as well. Like, Jesus Christ, I probably would be and all.
Trust me, after the first take, Roger said, I think I need a double for this scene.
All I could think of is, "Ow, you're hurting me."
Well, he did sustain an injury in a scene with Grace Jones. He sustained an injury. She proper hit him. And
wow.
He stormed off set. I think it was the only time he's ever stormed off a Bond set. And he talked about it in his autobiography, which I got a signed copy of. That's when I met him in person.
Yeah.
It's only a year before he passed away. I was proper upset when he died because he was in such good health when I saw him. And it was like a year later. You know, it's really sweet.
But he had good innings though. He's 89.
Yeah.
He lived a hell of a life. I'm not too sad. I'm sad he is gone, but I'm not too sad as well because
not sad for him in terms of the life he had.
But to answer Nix's question, I think Roger Moore didn't do the stunts because he wasn't really a big adrenaline junkie, and he preferred the stunt guys to do all that craziness themselves because, like he said in an interview, it's the kind of adrenaline rush I can do without. So so he was humble enough to admit his limitations, and I kind of like that. Yeah, and obviously they've been caught out. They know that the serum is switched, and that they've been putting surgery on the horses. They've been implanting them with these chips, and that's basically been activated with a cane as well to make the horses more juiced up. And Max Owen is obviously suspicious of him right now, and he kind of gets fucking caught out pretty easily here by a computer.
I don't remember a Bond movie where the bad guy is sort of fooled by his guys for more than a day. It's always like somebody comes up to the main bad guy at some stage and goes, "Yes, he's really James Bond, British intelligence." That happens like pretty quickly in every movie, despite him having an amazing credentials, fully fronted background. It's like Spy Who Loved Me, Stromberg. Oh yes, that's James Bond, and the woman is Madra Master. How does he know these things so immediately?
Even Roger Moore took the piss out of it as well, saying well, he's not very secret agent because he walks around saying, "Hey, I'm James Bond." It's like, I love Roger. I fucking love Roger. He may not have been the best Bond, but man, he was the funniest. He was the funniest.
Nice. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I don't know if I think the most faithful Bond to the character that Fleming created is probably Brosnan, is closest, in terms of his delivery and everything. And I like Brosnan as a Bond, and he did do some good films. He had a couple of terrible ones, but he did a couple of really good ones.
Yeah, I think like Connery encapsulated everything you need in Bond. He could be smooth, he could be ruthless, and he could be very charming as well. And all Bonds seem to be very good at one thing, but never always great at the other thing. And Roger Moore is more convincing as a charmer than a killer. But
10 no's after yes after 10 no's is a yes.
Yeah, God, that joke from Family Guy.
Oh man,
yeah, those.
Yeah, I remember that. No, did you say that? I don't know.
15 no's and a yes. I mean, yes.
So I've hit women in the past.
Yes. No problem with slapping a woman. Especially I remember that interview. I remember watching that interview. I think there's a real good moment where Barbara Walters who interviewed Sean Connery? She said, "You're going to get some mail for this," and Sean Connery was like, "I'm ready to get some female." I love that.
Oh, I do remember. I remember that interview.
I probably got sent panties in the post and all sorts. So
probably
the guy who played Sipowicz on NYPD Blue. Brilliant TV show if you've ever seen it.
Dennis Franz.
Dennis Franz.
Yeah, I think I watched it a couple of times. Yeah, on
He got
repeats.
more sacks of fan mail from women than any other television actor in history at the time that NYPD Blue was on. Especially after his wife got killed in the show, like, you know, just truckloads of it would arrive at the studio every week. So, and he talked about that on an interview and said it was just crazy. Just everybody wanted to marry him. You know, they thought his wife had died for real. So I'm sure Roger probably got a similar volume.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah.
The girl on the panel. Yes, we're trying to be more diverse. You sexist.
Barbara is here to represent all the Miss Moneypennies in the world. Very important.
Yes. Yeah, so it's just
basically Moneypenny and ladies in skimpy bikinis, god damn it. Important we have this.
Honestly, this shows why MI6 is useless as well, because wouldn't they have had any records of him just not on any file whatsoever to prevent this from happening? Oh no, because I mean,
you probably wouldn't have photo ID on file of your deepest other secret agents, that's for sure.
I do love his delighted look on his face when he finds out he's a secret agent. It's just that's great.
God, it's great, man. He is fucking living this part up. You can really tell.
He should have had a line that said, "I'm impressed, Sorin. Normally takes people at least 24 hours to find out who I am."
Yeah. So obviously, Walken's going to lead him out, play it all nice with him say it's under the pretense like they're going for a nice horse ride, a horse race, and but Bond knows something's up, so he's giving the message to Tibbet to send to MI6 to start making moves and start hurrying quickly because he knows he's compromised.
Those stairs are really famous, by the way, in the background.
Yeah, where are they? Yeah.
I think they're the steps of the Palace of Versailles in France, or a palace that's very... I think it's the Versailles one, which I think they also used in Moonraker, if I remember rightly.
The Rolls Royce belongs to Kevin Broccoli.
Oh, yes, it's Rolls Royce, yeah. And I love this bit. It's like, pretend you're going to take the car for a wash, and he's just washed the fucking car, and he has to throw that back on there again.
Yeah,
it's just gone
all dirty water.
Yeah.
Looks like my last bath.
Yeah, Timmy said, I'm just going to get the car washed, and he's going to fucking kill him. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's kind of got the red Star Trek vest on by this stage, isn't he? You're gonna. I knew he wasn't going to survive.
Yeah. Lovely Alison Doherty. God, that fucking name. Sorry, love. You're a beautiful woman. That is such a bad name.
Yeah,
it's very unfortunate. I'm really surprised she didn't change it.
She didn't do a lot. She did this. She did Last Crusade. And I don't think after that. I mean, she did a few bits, but like nothing. I don't think she's still acting.
Because I saw some pictures of her recently, and she still looks good.
Oh, she still looks all right. You know, I'd take her out for dinner, sure.
Yeah.
This
bit's actually pretty sinister as well. Like he's just coming out in the car wash, and then Mayday pops up from behind and just garrots him.
I stand corrected. She did a TV series called Beaver Falls.
Beaver Falls? I might have heard of that.
Beaver Falls.
Beaver Falls, huh?
She was in, I know, right? She was in 2 episodes of Waking the Dead, not Walking Dead, Waking the Dead. Yeah, that's a BBC thing. And also in the miniseries of King Solomon's Mines, which was, I did see that. It was pretty terrible. Lots of use of early CGI.
Her most recent credit on IMDb is from 2022.
Yeah, she's still acting. Well, she did a film with some friends of mine. It was directed by another friend of mine called We Still Kill the Old Way in 2014. That's got a whole load of sort of has-been B-list actors in it. But Sacha Bennett, who directed and co-wrote it, is a really nice guy. Like Ian Ogilvy, who played the Saint in the remake of The Saint, is the lead in We Still Kill the Old Way. There you go. There's a James Bond connection for you.
Yeah. Eventually, he's tried to escape because Walken's been cheating, trying to fucking render him handicapped, and and he tries to get in the Rolls Royce, but no, fucking Grace Jones, Mayday, she's in the sea, and Tibbins is now dead. And I like how Bond does actually stop as well to try and see if he's okay, but even at the risk of getting captured. But he's captured. And this is a very cheesy line. Killing Tibbins was a mistake, and it's like, yeah, I'm prepared to make that same mistake twice. Gotta love that.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not the worst line in the film. There's
yeah, and there's like he's also saying if you kill me, they'll just they'll know that they'll know something's up, and it's like, yeah, but I'll try and cover up your incompetence. And he does that line as well. You amuse me, Mr. Bond.
Yeah,
he's obviously having fun. Yeah, and then he fucking knocked Bond out, and this is another good bit as well. And I'm not just talking about Mayday pushing the car, which probably hints that she was juiced up as well by the same experiments. But as soon as the car starts sinking, Zorin actually stands by watching, making sure it actually goes down. And Bond has no choice but to get oxygen out of a tire, which I don't think can happen.
Nope.
No, that would cause more problems. That.
The Myth. Did you guys ever see Mythbusters? Do you guys have Mythbusters?
Yeah, we saw it, but I think I might have missed that one.
Yeah, they tried several times to replicate this, and they couldn't do it. So it's a real farce. It cannot be done.
Yeah. So Bond would have fucking drowned then.
I mean, the comment that I put in the chat a few hours ago, which of course was deleted before the stream actually started. Thanks.
Yeah, what was it?
Oh, I put just for shits and giggles. I put Mr. Bond, I've been expecting you. Please let me show you around my secret base and explain to you my diabolical plan before I decide to kill you in a complicated fashion, which allows you plenty of opportunity to escape. And that's a kind of
that's so funny that
happens in Moonraker, Spy Who Loved Me. I think it happens in Live and Let Die twice. In this film, not so much. He the fact that he does hang around to make sure he's dead, I think is actually a good thing. But as Barbara's just pointed out, of course, it's bollocks. It can't be done.
Yeah. And obviously we see that is it.
Movie. Yeah. We can buy into that. We can buy into Bond.
Yeah, I totally buy into it, but yeah, it
take liberties, doesn't it? It's like
yeah.
Obviously, this is another bit which shows that the Russians are onto Zorin as well because he's been attracting too much attention, and they want him to come back. But he's kind of gone. It looks like he's gone AWOL as well with the KGB, and they're not liking it. And it just seems a bit pointless as well. It seems like we don't need Go-Go in this as well because he just shows up and that's it.
I mean, I quite like the fact that he's there. I mean,
I
like the character. He's all right for a communist. For a communist, he's all right.
It's probably Barbara Broccoli calling him and saying, "Look, mate, I've got a paycheck for you. Do you want to come and do a couple of days? You know, tasty 15K, or he would have got about at least 10 grand for doing this."
Yeah. Yeah, he is a very likable actor, though. I mean, I do like seeing him, though. It's like, yeah.
I like it too, and I think it lends a lot of credence to the fact that Zorin's gone off the range, and so they're now calling in the big guy to try and rein him in. Also, I love Dolph Lundgren right over his shoulder.
I can't believe for many years I did not notice that. But then again, I did have it on video, and the video always cuts the frames a little bit, don't they? With the square TV.
He was dating Grace Jones at the time, and that was would you like to be in the film? Dinner conversation. That's how he got that part.
Let's see if we can get.
We've got a scene for you next week. Oh yeah, okay.
See if we can get an image of them both together. Because I know there's one where they look really fucking crazy as well. They've got this weird leather gear on. It's like, so you can get it up.
Which two? See if you can. Sorry,
Grace Jones and Dolph Lundgren.
I'll see if I can get it up, Miss Moneypenny. Sorry, you were going into major double entendre mode.
Oh God, here it is. Bloody hell, man!
Show me.
So you can get it on. Yes.
I noticed you changed your phraseology very tactfully there, but well done.
Yeah. Right, here we go. I can't get full screen, but it's right there.
Why
What
is it
the
work?
Oh, dear.
Hello. What club are they going to that night?
That's the one I want to go to with them.
That's got to be
I
in
just want to
Berlin.
be a fly on the wall. That's
got to
it.
be. That's got to be a
That
Berlin
is
club. For
bonkers.
sure.
Oh, Christ. Imagine if they had fucking kids together. They'd be unstoppable.
Well, I met Dolph also in person. I've got a picture of me and him on the beach in Venice Beach in LA.
And we're just frolicking around.
He was shooting a workout video on the beach, and he took a break from filming. This was in 2004. I was over there trying to get a job writing on Family Guy at the time, and you know, and I was literally just happening all right next to me, and I just went up and started talking to him and just said, "Look, I know it's not the done thing. We're both in the industry, but I am a bit of a fan. Would you mind if I had a picture with you? Because people will never believe I met you on the beach doing a workout video." And it's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." You know, and
no, he's a very smart guy as well. He's like, he's got like degrees in like chemistry and everything, and
very pleasant. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not a short guy. I'm just under 6 foot, and like I look like a dwarf next to him in this picture. He's huge, you know. He's twice the width of me. Looks like twice the height, you know. But he was lovely. He was a really lovely guy, and obviously I met him at a time much later in his career when I think he, like Stallone, you know, Stallone had a bit of an ego. He will admit this. He has on interviews back in the day. Mellowed out a lot now. The same with Arnie. You know, they're all very different to the people they were at the height of their.
Yeah, no, they seemed very competitive against each other back in the 80s, didn't they? I mean,
80s was all about competition, wasn't it? It was that kind of era. You know, everybody wanted to be number one at the box office. Everyone wanted to have number one singles, and just a different kind of sort of culture of competitiveness to the level we have now. You know, everyone gets a trophy. Everyone gets a trophy. So, yeah, but anyway, where did we get to in the film? Enough about Grace Jones's sex club.
Oh, that's just a weird picture. Yeah,
I'm
obviously,
sure there are more weird ones you could find, man. Don't Google. You'd be surprised. Or not.
We were almost to the part where she lifts the guy up over her.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, no. Yeah, this guy insults him as well, calling him a biological freak. And Chris Jones lifts the guy up. She's like, she's a beast in this. And then Dolph Lundgren's like, oh my God, I've never been so turned on in my life.
This poster that I've just put up for you, this was what's called a preview poster before the main poster was produced. And they had to pull this poster because people complained. It was probably Grace Jones complaining, saying my tits look too fake in this picture. But yeah, they had to pull it. It got taken down. So if you've got an original print of this, it's worth quite a bit of money, a few £1,000s.
Wow. The things that are available. If I could find that cheap somewhere in a bloody in a bargain basement in some shop, I could make a nice bit of money.
I used to have an original cinema quad for View to a Kill. I had one for Octopussy as well. I sold the View to a Kill. I think I've still got Octopussy. Yeah, so it would be the one I want is the Spy Love Me. That's the poster I would like to have.
Yeah, she tosses him to the side.
Yeah, she's so cool, and she's so fucking cool, man.
No one ever leaves the KGB.
That's right. There's that line.
Yeah, and he just fucking smiles again. And we're coming to another bit where he gets to show his diabolical plan and have a lot of investors join him in it. And he's asking, it's basically like trying to flood Silicon Valley, isn't he? For yeah.
Which, you know, as I look back now, I'm like, I'm okay with that. Do it.
Same.
I think those fuckers.
I think the plot of this movie was, you know, that was probably one of the weak spots. It was kind of like, hang on, you're trying to cause an earthquake and doing what now? What's this bollocks now?
They're kind of ripping off Superman, aren't they? Yeah, the Christopher Reeve one.
That was exactly what it was. And I just kind of thought this is a bit too much in the realm of fantasy. After Moonraker, they did a deliberate pullback. Let's make Bond a bit more grounded. Octopussy, okay, Cold War plot, but a believable plot. It was believable. This was a bit like, yeah, we're about to go into space again. What's happening here? We're going to have laser guns again. What's going on?
And yet this plot of the earthquakes is far still more believable than what they originally wanted. What they originally wanted was to capitalize on Halley's Comet. And therefore they could alter the path of Halley's Comet to do all of this damage. And that's when they said, well, that's probably a little too unbelievable. Let's just go with the earthquake thing.
Keep that still on, because there's Burt Kwok from the Pink Panther movies there, who was Peter Sellers' kind of...
Whereabouts is he?
The Oriental gentleman.
Yeah.
That's Burt Kwok.
And that's Burt Kwok, and he's been in more than one Bond film. He was also in...
he was in Goldfinger, wasn't he?
I think he also had a bit part in You Only Live Twice as well. I think he's the guy that opens the lever on the volcano. And then if you look next to him, to the left of him, there's Putin in an early act as well. Sneaking in, thinking, let me listen into this fiendish plot. Maybe I can carry this out for real on the Americans. I'm going to listen in. Early undercover KGB operative placements.
Yeah.
Primary Film Studios. It doesn't half look like him. It's quite funny.
Yeah, and you know this guy's gonna die because he refuses, doesn't he? And the bad guy can't have that. So
Does anyone else want to drop out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of
great.
the funny lines from the film.
I know. And they recycle that scream as well in Living Daylights when the henchman falls out of the plane. It's forgot the actor's name though, but he's always played henchman in a lot of 80s movies. Yeah, it's that.
In which movie?
Yeah, the sound of the guy falling gets recycled in Living Daylights.
Oh, you mean the thing he screamed?
Yeah.
It's a sound effect that gets reused.
Noise. Yeah.
Jason Fleming talked about it when he did the interview with me, and we it's called the something scream. There's also
I know there's a Wilhelm scream, isn't there? But I don't know if this is another one.
The Wilhelm scream. Is there another one?
Yeah, I don't know if it is another one, but yeah.
No, there's the second one that's always used for bodies dropping a big distance.
Yeah.
It's used in Where Eagles Dare when the guy falls down from the cable car. Same one here.
Yeah, because it seems like screaming to your death seems to be harder to do for actors. So it seems to be a very rare gift for most people. That's why they recycle the sounds.
There's also, because don't forget the sound department on all the Bond films, but certainly up until the end of the Roger Moore era, probably the Brosnan era as well, it's all the same people. So they've got full access to use anything in their back catalogue that they want. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear this, but the other sort of there's a Bond explosion, and it's in almost every Bond movie without fail, and I'm sure it's probably in this one when the Zeppelin blows up, but it's in Spy Who Loved Me when the Liparus is exploding, and they have the fight, and the first time you cut to the shot of the top of the tanker exploding at the top, that's the first time it's used in the movie, and that's in every Bond film, that sound effect. It's in the Wild Geese even.
Yeah, you always feel there is a lot of recycled sounds in these old films, but it sort of adds to the charm a little bit. It's like they're like little time capsules.
Oh yeah, I don't mind it as long as it works for the scene.
Yeah, and you get the characters saying the name and the title. What have you to a kill? I have no choice.
The thing.
Yeah, I have no choice but to be Superman for the quest for peace.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was a film that we could talk about for a whole host of other terrible.
Oh god, I might have to do a stream on that one day.
Better than that. Yeah, I saw that at the cinema with my first girlfriend, and she was in the performance of this before the one I went to see, because she came out of the movie as we were going in. Oh, we weren't dating then, but we were by the end of the year. Mission accomplished, 007.
Yeah. And now we're moving on to another bit where now it's not the horses that are gaining suspicion. It's like something to do with the crabfish as well, with the seawater being pumped into the what was it, the oil wells or something? It's
this whole section of the movie was kind of lame.
Yeah. It's like
I also have to dispute a tourist coming up to the CIA agent asking for soft shell crabs on Fisherman's Wharf. Like, how would you know who the spy is? Do you know how often people ask for soft shell crabs?
Maybe they said if a British man comes up to you asking for soft shell crabs, he looks like he's got a hairpiece on and maybe wearing a safari suit. That's
that's the giveaway. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of got to go on the subject. I don't like seeing Roger Moore's Bond in ordinary clothes. It just doesn't suit him. Get the suit back on, man. He's somehow he looks like he's trying to look young, but still looks older.
Those Zorin jackets, by the way, if you can get hold of one of them, they're worth. They sell for like $5,000.
Yeah, that should be. I know, fucking hell. It's
they were given. Broccoli gave one to all of the crew. All of the production team got a Zorin jacket because Simon Turk had one. The stuff he used to bring back from the Bond sets, man. He had a Moonraker belt, with the Moonraker logo on the belt clasp, and I was like, "Why don't you get a laser gun, man? Get a laser gun." He always used to bring back. He had patches, Moonraker patches, and all kinds of stuff. His dad would get him from the Bond sets. Very cool. And they always got tickets to the premiere as well. Bastard.
Secret agent, everyone knows.
That photo of Ricky Tomlinson looks like.
So David Yip's character was written in especially to capitalize on San Francisco and the Asian market. Because originally the story was to have him be Felix Leiter.
He could have been Felix Leiter, because Felix Leiter's been played by a black actor. He's been played by his character's not defined by race.
It's like he's played by two black actors. One he was played by the one in Never Say Never Again, and Jeffrey Wright in the Daniel Craig ones. And
he's not. Felix Leiter's not in Octopussy, is he? When did we see him last before this film?
I think it was.
Live and Let Die?
Live and Let Die, yeah.
And Let Die, okay, yeah.
Yeah, before Jeffrey Wright, he was like the first actor to reprise his role later in License to Kill.
I did love the actor who played him.
He was good, yeah.
Yeah, really, really good. He passed away a couple of years ago, but
that was sad. That was sad to hear.
Good innings. Another man with a good innings, though.
I know. Yeah, and obviously, we found that he's carrying up on the leads as well, and then this is where we found out is about the oil pumps. We found out a little bit more about the other characters as well, like the monocle, the one with the guy with the monocle, and he's actually the guy who actually helped develop the steroids, and he looks
like
evil.
The Yahtzee concentration.
Yeah, because that does feel very Ian Fleming, like ex-Yahtzees who have managed to evade fucking war, being punished for war crimes, and still develop chemicals or weapons for whatever for the main villain. It's that's one of the things I like.
Well, we did it. America did it.
We
stole all of them to get our rockets. To the moon.
I watched that Joe Rogan clip where they were talking about ex-Yahtzee scientists helping NASA and all that lot. It's crazy stuff.
Werner von Braun didn't do too badly after the war,
Yeah, he was like Time Magazine's Man of the Year. He was
damn man.
Yeah.
He didn't have to take a tunnel under the wall, to get into the country or anything.
No.
Yes, because it's like, we'll right. You don't punish me for war crimes. I'll snitch on every other Nazis for everything they did. Seems like that way, doesn't it? Because they had like technology and information that probably could have been vital for the Americans. So I thought, we get a free pass here.
I think that's the wharf where you board the tourist boat to go to Alcatraz.
Yeah, it's the same area. It's all the
yeah,
same.
I went there in that same year, 2004, the same year I met Dolph on the beach. I went up to San Fran for a few weeks.
But I actually do like this backstory here as well. Like the steroids developed by the Yahtzee guy was produced children with great IQs, but they were also psychotic. And yeah, that also does feel like a very good Ian Fleming villain backstory there. So,
well, the character itself was based on
experiments in World War II, like
was it Mengele?
Yeah, Mengele, Joseph Mengele.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely correct. And kind of had that whole sort of boys from Brazil kind of vibe going on. That's another great movie. And also,
I've heard about that. I need to check it out. It's
mate, you'll like that. Watch it.
Is it Robert Mitchum or Gregory Peck?
It's Gregory Peck. Watch out for a really young Steve Guttenberg in a cameo role at the beginning.
Damn, man.
It's his first acting job in a movie.
Yeah, he was a big thing in the 80s, and I don't know. He seems like someone who's a bit up himself, even though he's like not this big star anymore. I don't know from what I'm hearing about him, but I don't know.
I think David Yip's still around, isn't he? He's still around.
Yeah, he probably is. Probably well into his 60s, 70s now.
Remember when he had his own show? It was called The Chinese Detective. I'm not joking. Mate,
I don't remember that.
Totally serious.
I've heard of that one.
Mate, I promise you, he had his own show. It was called The Chinese Detective, 1981 to 1982. And probably wouldn't get that show titled with that title now. The Chinese Detective. I used to stay up and watch that with my mum and dad. I was always allowed to stay up and watch the cop shows as long as they were on Friday.
Oh, it was a BBC show.
No, it was ITV actually. So ITV1, sort of independent produced drama, and he kind of just got involved in sort of Asian culture crimes in London, you know. So there were lots of scenes in Chinatown in London, and Detective Sergeant John Ho. That's just
John
Ho. The name of it. Yeah, BBC produced it, but I'm pretty sure I remember it being on ITV1. That doesn't mean it wasn't a co-production. Here you go, Northern. I've got a picture of it for you.
All right, let's have a look.
You thought I was joking when I said it. You're like, no, man.
That might be something to check out because the BBC probably were out the best.
Not a great. It's not a great show. It's very safe and very Sunday viewing formulaic crime drama. It's not great. It's all right. It's not The Professional.
We had Charlie Chan.
Yeah, I think that was better.
It's going to get the slides back on.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, where's it gone?
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't put these things up because it keeps disrupting your. It takes 5 minutes for the computer to restart.
Here we go. Let's go back on now. Yeah, I think it just went off. I think it's because I wasn't. There it goes. Yeah, so Bond's snuck into the oil pump, and he's finding out that the Russians are there as well, and they're trying to blow the whole thing up. But Bond's trying to get the information he can, and I don't know about what I can do about this character. What I think about this character because
he's a sort of lackey.
Yeah, he seems like he's cooperating, but at the same time, he doesn't seem like his heart's totally in it. But once again, he doesn't feel like a very fleshed out character either. Just a little,
No,
like you
I
said,
mean,
just lackey.
Well, I mean, basically, he's there to say lines like, valves are operating at 60% capacity, ready to, convey the energy that you need for the quantum flux for the plan to work. That sort of crap. And those are all of his lines, other than, these men have been loyal to you, Zorin. Or
I know.
It's just sort of, I think this is kind of, the plot sort of falls apart a bit with all of this. And
a lot of it does, really. A lot of it does, but obviously Bond there's
you got some. I think that the thing of this film is it's not as good as the sum of its parts. You've got some great actors, Walken, Grace Jones, perfectly suited for the role that's been written for her, I would assume. And Patrick McNee, great sidekick for Bond, and good. Got the usual people on the usual jobs as well, but it just in the script department is where it really falls down. The plot just doesn't work.
And this particular section that happens to land like right in the middle of the movie is where it just sort of begins to get bogged down, and it doesn't. There's no real big tie-in anymore. There's no horses or microchips. Now it's oil wells, and you're kind of lost. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, that's very convoluted. Very convoluted.
The thing that annoyed me here was we had this big Zorin interior mindset that was obviously built at Pinewood Studios, and you've got all your Zorin men going around in their Zorin jumpsuits, and I'm expecting a team with different coloured jumpsuits to turn up under Bond's command, and there to be a big battle in the mine between two opposing guys. I want to see that in my Bond film. I don't just want Bond taking on 50 guys. I want the scene in a Bond film. I want the scene with the guys in the jumpsuits taking on the other guys that have broken out of the prison or whatever. The ninjas versus the bad guys in the volcano. I always want that scene between the opposing forces, the security forces of the villain and the special forces of British military intelligence or whoever Bond is seconded to at the time, whoever, with him involved in the fight, this big fight. I expect to see that in a Bond film. And if they don't give me that, I'm always like, yeah, that one was all right, but it wasn't as good as You Only Live Twice or The Spy Who Loved Me. So,
Yeah, like I say, it's not the best. And obviously, this Bond has escaped, almost getting cut up by the propellers, and this guy gets caught, and it's a Russian agent.
That was another. Let me come up with a complicated way to kill you, Mr. Bond scene instead of me just shooting you in the head.
I know. Yeah. And apparently it's the same guy that called him a biological freak at the race course earlier with Go-Go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Zorin kind of gets his revenge here a little bit. He gets to throw him into the propellers and watch him get ground up.
It's, God, yeah, I remember that. That was a pretty grim. That was a pretty grim scene, actually.
Pretty gross.
Yeah, no, for a PG film as well. I mean, they got away with some gruesome moments in these. Well,
they doubled down on Tim Dalton's second effort because
the fucking head exploding. Oh man,
yeah, right. That's the only Bond film that was cut for UK audiences, but the Americans got the full version of it before we did.
We sure did.
Yeah, it was rated R.
Yep.
Yeah, we had bits cut out of it. They cut like Felix Leiter's scene, the murder with the wife and everything. That was cut to ribbons. Like 2 minutes out of that. So
yeah, we actually see. I think in the latest DVD versions, the Blu-ray versions, you actually saw Felix's leg get bit off by the shark.
Yeah, no, it was subsequently released. If you bought the widescreen, remember widescreen VHS?
Oh yeah,
widescreen VHS. They got through a certification loop, and that's how we got the unedited version of Die Hard 2 in the UK, which was also heavily cut for UK audiences. And so I went out and bought the widescreen of whatever that one was called, License to Kill, and lo and behold, there was all the violence.
Yeah, and we're introduced to Fiona Fullerton, who was also was one of the Russians agents with the other guy, and they've managed to bump into each other.
Page 3 model, I think.
Yeah, and she still looks pretty good now from last thing I saw her in. I think I saw her in that Strictly Come Dancing show, and she still looked pretty good.
Well, the blonde agent that Bond is with at the beginning, after he does his Beach Boys.
Yeah, that one is. Yeah.
That actress is. I won't put the image up because your computer will go ape shit again. But that actress is Mary Stavin, and she's still going. And I mean, she's still acting and still does modeling as well, and just looks great.
This part actually, they wanted Maud Adams to come back. Or, I'm sorry, not Maud Adams. Barbara Bach to come back and reprise her role. from The Spy Who Loved Me.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Ah.
But she declined it, and so they just rewrote it as a brand new character for this gal.
Well, I suppose when you're married to one of the Beatles, you don't really have to worry about where the next paycheck's coming from.
How did Ringo Starr land a Bond babe?
Well,
it must have been a charming drawl he did. How could you not resist a voice like that?
You know what they say, darling? Big nose, big feet.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a really nice guy, and I think that's probably, and he's a Beatle, so you know.
Yeah, I don't think to be honest, this kind of just renders the Russian side plot a little bit useless now, because this is the last time we see of them. We know that they're after Zoran as well, but he switches the tape that leads to the information, and that's it. That's it. They're kind of just gone.
Yeah,
I think you could have cut that out, and it would have changed nothing.
Yeah.
That hot tub sequence. I remember.
Yeah.
It was cringe. I can hear it now. I can hear the
The
audience.
bubbles tickle my Tchaikovsky. Yes,
Yeah, well, I just heard the audience wince. Like as soon as Roger Moore got up.
There was no point to it. I mean, you could have cut that entire scene out entirely, and it wouldn't have changed anything. It was just simply there so that Bond could, land another hottie.
Yeah. I mean, I think Roger Moore's got a minimum of 3 hottie landings per movie in his contract. So
this one's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, minimum of 3.
Yeah. So now he's at City Hall now, and he's interviewing the guy who works with the oils and in the department, and he's like, "Yeah, we're not going to investigate Zoran because he brings too much to the city." And Bond's like, "Okay, well, fuck off now."
Did you know that Maud Adams is actually in this movie?
I've heard so. Yeah, is she? She's one of the an extra, isn't she? Really?
Yeah, she turned up on set just to visit Roger because she was in town. He was filming because I think they were meeting for dinner that night.
Oh,
she came down to the set, and John Glenn said to her, "Do you want to be in the film for a laugh?" And she's on one of the stalls at Fisherman's Wharf in that scene. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I got a screenshot of her, but
no,
okay,
there aren't any photos. There aren't any photos. But
it
is a true story. She's told it herself. And it's on IMDb as well.
So obviously he spots Tanya Roberts, who plays Stacey Sutton, and the first time we've seen her on this stream now, because for some reason, even though I screenshot it and saved it, it hasn't saved onto the slideshow for some reason. But yeah, there she is. Very lovely woman. Very lovely woman. And obviously he suspects something, so he's going to try and track her down and find out what information he can get from her, blah, blah, blah.
But isn't like most of her dialogue in this movie, James?
Yeah.
Yes.
James! Yeah. Kind of it, really. She must have read through the script and gone, do I do anything else?
All right, I'll give Roger more credit here. He actually does leap over this, and he doesn't look too tired while doing it either. So.
Oh, the product placement.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The sharper image.
That's how these films have always been funded.
Man.
The Broccoli's were very good at that. They funded these films like that from day one. That's why it's always got Bollinger Champagne gets mentioned in almost every Roger Moore one. They've got a sponsorship deal with Bollinger. All their rap parties are sponsored by Bollinger. Free champagne on the set all the time. So
yeah, plus he's a man of taste as well. He's got to be into his very classy stuff, because he was like that in the books. He was very particularly about everything he ate, everything he drank, and what he had to do. He's a complete snob in the books, but he still has a heart of gold. But yeah, I don't buy Stacey Sutton as a badass. She looks really awkward with that shotgun. I wouldn't trust her with that.
Yeah, I just didn't really like her in this movie at all.
Yeah, she's not really given anything to work with, unfortunately. And I don't know if Roger Moore got on with her as well.
No.
During the
I don't think they did. I don't think they did get on.
She was a bit of a prima donna on the set.
Yeah, she was late getting on set quite a lot.
She demanded custom wardrobe fittings and things like that. It was
Yeah, she was a hot young woman in the 80s, so yeah, it's kind of
she was a B movie actor. Even before this, she was a B movie actor at best.
She had only been in like what, the Beastmaster or something?
The Beastmaster and Beastmaster -2, the Eye of Sauron or something.
Yeah.
But Beastmaster and a couple of other things. Some other film with a panther or something. I can't remember.
And as lovely as she is, and she is very beautiful, she was, man, I didn't think there could be a worse Bond girl.
No, she.
Until I saw Denise Richards. Denise Richards was awful.
Yeah, she was.
Tanya Roberts, boy.
That's a tough call between the
Tanya
two.
Roberts actually did age well though before she died. Denise Richards, though, unfortunately, she's really looked like she's botched her face up with too much surgery. And
oh my god, they all do that, man.
I know.
Leave it alone. You'll look so much nicer. Leave it alone. You know.
I know. Look at Jane Seymour. I mean, she's got wrinkles on her face, but she still looks great. She still looks great.
Tanya Roberts did like a low budget Italian movie. You know, she did the thing that Leo DiCaprio did in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She went over to Italy and made a load of low budget B movies, and one of those is called Hearts and Armor. You should definitely try and track that down and watch it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, there's loads of
that one down.
It's a fantasy B movie. I'll put the link up for it, but it sold really well on video in the UK because people were crying out for fantasy content, and all we had was like Krull and Sword and the Sorcerer. You know, there wasn't a lot to choose from. There's the IMDb for you guys.
Oh yeah, I've got it. So yeah, I'll check that out later. Okay. Or do you want to put it on screen, or shall I just leave it there for now?
No, leave it because don't want to mess up your
That's all right. Yeah. Obviously, some guys have come for Stacey to threaten her, and it's not going very well. He takes a couple down with a shotgun, but it's loaded with rock salt, so basically he just has to beat the living fuck out of them. And I don't know, is that a young guy in a grey wig? I can't tell.
Looks like the same guy that doubles for Bond in other scenes with that wig on.
Yeah, I know. Because most of these guys don't look like they would be the best heavies to have while taking on younger guys. So because Roger was looking older now, they had to give him older, more out of shape guys to make the fight scenes look more credible. And it's pretty fucking hilarious to watch when you think about it.
Yeah. Also, this is the only one he shoots in this movie, and it's not even shooting, it's rock salt.
Yeah. But he still handles the shotgun like a fucking boss, even though he was getting old now. But and he was a well-known pacifist as well. He hated guns. Yeah, so this is where they meet each other now, and obviously he's pretending to be a reporter for the Financial Times, and no, she's actually wants to help as well. She has actually got some beef with Zorin, and Roger Moore's Bond seems to be a very good cook as well when it comes to quiche.
Yeah, did he make the crust from scratch?
He can make at least 3 different types of quiche.
Yeah, he's James Bond. He's not going to go down Asda or Kmart for these quiches. Basically, and just like in the books, Bond seems to have a heavy diet of eggs. It's you can really see Ian Fleming is putting his everything that he likes into this character. And yeah, we get a bit of exposition on the backstory, blah blah blah, and it turns out that Zorin fucking has taken over a company that her dad has worked for, and she's been almost bankrupt trying to fight the courts against him, and Zorin is now bribing her to keep her mouth shut. And it's supposed to be the scene where they build up some chemistry, but I just don't see anything sexual between them. They seem like there could
There's
be
zero chemistry between these two.
Yeah, they just seem like we're watching two actors just do what material they're working with, and that's about it.
She can't wait to get back to her trailer, basically, in this scene.
I know.
And he's thinking, God, you know, I traded Grace Jones for this. Come back, Grace, all is forgiven.
And it should be a touching scene as well. Like he's putting the cover on her as well, but it just doesn't work. It's there's, like you said, there's no chemistry. It feels very emotionless.
Yes,
but I'll give some credit. Like he's been sitting on this chair all night with the shotgun in hand, just in case.
Yeah, and he got some pussy in that scene. Look.
Yeah, yeah. Probably the only pussy he just gets for now.
Did you notice deliberately that's the same breed of cat as Bluefelt always had? If you look.
Yeah, except this one's got a bit more shade around its face.
Yeah, but very similar.
Isn't the name of the cat Pussy too? Because it's on the bowl.
I think it is.
Yeah. So have a look, see if we can find it. I don't know.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, I've seen it there. Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of earthquakes going on. It seems like it's not a big deal, but now they're finding out it's in the location that in Zoran's oil field, and now Bond has told her about pumping seawater into the wells, and he's like, no, that's really fucking dangerous. This will cause a lot of problems. And once again, she's supposed to be a geologist, but I don't buy her. And look at that fucking dressing gown. It's obvious that was deliberate. Look how fucking short that is.
I mean, also, just her
her
hair is overly pristine in.
Yeah, I know. She just got up
every scene, and I don't know. It's like Maud Adams. Okay, has a variety of outfits and things, but you buy her as Octopussy in all of those scenes. She gives real conviction to the role. I mean, she's one of the best. She's kind of half a villain, half a Bond girl in Octopussy. And of course, she's played a Bond girl before, but she's one of the best actresses we've ever had in a Bond film, I would argue.
Yeah, she had like a real sense of she was really enigmatic, wasn't she? So that's why.
Yeah, and you know, and then we get this. So it's, you know, you're stepping into some pretty big shoes, love, with some very tiny feet, and you're not doing very well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So this is the scene where Stacey stands up to her boss saying, I'm not going to take Zoran's bribe, and we need to stop him right now before he causes more trouble. And she gets fired for it. And I'm really sad that there was a deleted scene as well, which I really wish was in the movie, which I will show you right now because it is very funny.
Well, let's see it.
Fired. That's right, you're fired. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Give me personnel, please. Well, what happened?
I got fired. She fired me.
Well, calm down.
Fired me.
Listen, Stacy, this evening, we are going to meet with a friend of mine from Washington, and maybe, just maybe, he'll come up with a few answers. All right?
I just can't believe it.
Well, life is short. I mean, f*** him. You know, who needs it? Come on, get rid of it.
Roger Moore, brilliant. He's just thinking this scene is bollocks.
Oh
my god!
I love it.
I bet he was thinking this scene is going to end up in the movie. Who cares what I say?
Yeah, everyone was fucking laughing. You could hear the cameraman, everyone laughing.
Yeah.
Oh
man, proper crash.
Oh, that is fantastic.
That was priceless, man.
Yes, short. Fuck him.
The guy who plays her boss, actor Daniel Benzali, he was the lead in that single season sort of murder mystery show called Murder One, and it's a great single season drama. It's proper quality. It was on in '95. It had like 23 episodes, and basically he plays the head of a law firm. They're representing a guy who's up for murder, and he may or may not have done the murder. And you don't really know until the final episode. It's a brilliant show, really, really good. And he was amazing, but apparently he got loads of backlash for being cast in the lead part because he was bald. And yeah, it's true, and it was a big thing. And But he was amazing in that show. I don't understand why he didn't get more meaty roles. I don't know if he got blacklisted or what happened, but it's a great show. You should check it out. It's definitely worth your time. Got a brilliant cast of loads of known faces that you would recognize from a gazillion things. And Jason Gedrick, from the lead star from Iron Eagle, is the man who's up for the crime. He's the guy who may or may not be murdered, a murderer. And you've got Stanley Tucci as one of the supporting lawyers, and just great cast. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, that seems to be the case with many actors. It doesn't matter how talented you are. Sometimes you won't always get the best roles or the best gigs. It's very unfortunate. And once again, we're getting to a bit more exposition and a lot of information where I don't know, I just couldn't keep track, to be honest. Even though I've seen
I
it
still have
thousands
my
of times.
security pass.
Isn't this like isn't this like science bollocks?
Yeah. It seems like they're already relaying what we already know with a little bit of other information that's not gonna end up being useful to this guy, because we know he's gonna get fucking killed. He's like, oh god, first Temple of Doom and now this.
Yeah. We've got to do the thing to go and get the thing to stop the thing from happening.
Yeah, I know. And we can't do this thing because this thing's happening. It's and so on and so on and so on. And I don't even know it's weird. And my friend has just turned into a black woman with a crew cut. Obviously, they break into the city hall to get the records, all the evidence they need, and
this whole sequence was just. I'm sorry, this whole sequence was just lame as fuck. And
it was
the whole thing with her getting trapped on the outside of the building, the fire, all of it looked proper shit as well. It just didn't. It just didn't look very real, and again, very obvious use of stunt doubles. And then we got into the kind of crap fire engine chase, which was all right, but it was a bit.
I know, and it's a shame because John Glenn was a really good director, though, wasn't he? With the James Bond films.
And it's silly. It's you're reducing it to a bunch of Keystone cops and dumb police chase, and it's really it's not Bond.
It felt like a scene from that movie Mad. It's a Mad World.
Yeah,
which is a great film. It's a slapstick comedy.
Yeah, with the fucking ladder flying all over the place. That's very Mad World.
Very obvious, like claymation people stuck to it. But, I mean, that's a great movie.
It is a very funny movie. Yeah, got loads of good actors. Phil Silvers, everyone. Ethel Merman.
And they do that recap at one point to tell you where everybody is in geography in the movie. It's quite bizarre, but it kind of works.
Yeah, and once again, as lame as this is, Christopher Walken still owns every fucking scene, especially with Grace Jones by his side. And he's like, "Oh, you two together, you're hilarious." It's all a joke to him. And now I like how he actually relays his plan to the boss here, saying, "Oh, these guys have just come here and killed you and covered up the evidence by burning to the ground." And he's like totally clueless. So he's like, "But that would mean I would have to be dead."
Dead.
Yeah,
dead.
I mean, that's a fun bit in the film, but in an otherwise pretty lame sequence. But you would not believe this was the same actor if you watch him in Murder One. He's got really, like, here he's playing like a wimpy lackey.
Yeah,
Murder
just a
One,
bureaucrat, isn't he?
He heads up a whole team. He's like Michael Chiklis on steroids in Murder One. He's incredible in it. His presence in all his scenes, his voice, everything. He's got this amazing gravelly voice.
Yeah, I like how Roger Moore's very cool as well. He's like, "Brilliant. I'm almost speechless with admiration."
Yeah. Yeah, not the best lines.
Yeah, once again, you got some good actors just trying their best with the material they worked with, and yet John Glenn, I think even he was trying his best as well, but he just couldn't. He just didn't execute very well.
And Bacardi, it's known for its Molotov cocktails.
Yep.
Again, more of the product placement.
Let's have a fun time. Have some cocktails. Don't go away. Yeah, where the fuck's she gonna go?
Yeah, this is where we briefly become Towering Inferno. I mean, you know, the sequence is okay. It looks good and everything, but it just, I don't know. And then it sort of...
Yeah, it should be very epic as well, because you got A View to a Kill instrumental playing while he clambers down the ladder holding her. And but like I said, if there was a bit more chemistry between these two, it would have had more of an impact. But nah, they've only just met as well, properly. They probably
Yeah, I
have
mean,
to just start hanging out with each
you
other.
could have believed Bond just going, "Oh well, never mind, have to go," and just leaving her. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that scene where he carries her out of the smoke, oh, that was naff as anything. It's terrible.
Yeah, it should have been. It should have been really cool and epic. But like I said, what if they had chemistry? If they had a bit more time to build up their relationship, it would have had a lot of impact.
Look at Tanya Roberts' face in that still. She could have been saying, "Sorry, what set is this? What film am I on?"
Yeah. You know, like how it actually, yeah. He actually comes clean with her now, and the cop's just like, yeah, name's Dick Tracy and he's still under arrest. And yeah, he's just another dickhead cop, isn't he? Really.
That guy's been in a few.
If you've ever known San Francisco cops, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they got it right then.
San Francisco cops are like known for being kind of assholes.
Yeah, our cops are getting that way. I mean, bloody hell, we had one in Leeds arresting an autistic teenager just for saying one of them looks like a lesbian, like her nana. It's
oh my god, I saw that.
Jeez, really?
Yeah.
Is she still working?
My God.
Yeah, she was still working after, because another bit of footage popped up with her macing people. She was.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, just like she's some kind of like, you know, nuthead dyke in a uniform that's going around basically assaulting people, and then using her sexuality as a reason not to be removed from her job, which I think is an absolute disgrace. And that, so I shouldn't have used the D word. It's an offensive term. Apologies, but yeah, that's the way she comes across in a job who we're supposed to look up to and respect. And well, you don't get respect unless you give it. Behavior. It's unbelievable that she's still in a uniform. You know.
Well, I mean, Toxic has talked about coppers as well, who basically just take the job just so they can abuse their position, wave a badge around, and stamp their authority on people.
Well, we've certainly had that recently. There's a whole load of them just gone to prison. I mean, you know, let's not go down that road. Let's.
I know, yeah. So
refocus on the Bond.
Yeah, so come by this really crazy chase, and yeah, the bits that are done for real are kind of cool, but then you got this really sort of naff projection as well. It's you can sort of tell when it changes from a real stunt to a fake one, but
there's a fair bit of blue screen.
Yeah, still give credit to Roger Moore for trying to bring some laughs, like it not that way, this way.
Poor couple in the truck. You couldn't have found a better place to shag than the back of your pickup.
Yeah, and this would never happen. I mean, a heavy fucking fire truck that size going over a bridge like that, I don't know. I don't think that would happen.
Well, they did it in Speed, but I don't know.
I call bullshit on that, but fuck it, it's a good film. Yeah.
It's still fun.
Yeah, it's gone out to do a really. I'm trying to do a Monty Python joke. It's bloody weight ratios. Yeah, I was trying to get the joke, but it's just not coming into my bloody head. It really isn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that landed well.
Yeah.
This cop chase scene of cop cars and pile up, and it's so out of place for a Bond movie. I mean, yeah, it feels like something out of, you know, Blues Brothers or something like that.
Yeah, it is. I know, because we had that deleted scene as well with Bond coming out, being bailed out in the French jails, and and they're handing him back all those gadgets that were confiscated from him, and I think it's on YouTube. I couldn't get it I couldn't find it in isolation. The only way I could get it is if I had to download the other clips. So I just didn't have time to do the editing.
I know
so.
exactly the one that you're talking about, because when he hands him back his pen, it's like a flamethrower.
I know. And he's doing it right in front of the bloody French police as well, when he's supposed to be keeping that incognito. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm sure
On
this actor was
gadgets, we get it.
Yeah. I mean, this cop, he is sort of trying his best for the short role he's gotten, but it's just pointless. Goes fucking nowhere. Now they're heading off to the abandoned mine, and they're finding out there's a shitload of explosives there, and you get Roger Moore putting on a really bad American accent saying, "On your rear end."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
right back to the back of the truck that has explosives that's supposed to be on fire.
Yeah.
Oy.
The mayor just started sounding saying, "Explodey things, keep away, otherwise you will lose your limbs." It's just like
exploding things.
Yeah.
I like that technical term. That's good.
Yeah, explodey thingamajigs. Yeah, and obviously she's in the fucking uniform and wears a hat. Right. I can't believe he fooled the other guy into thinking he was an actual fireman. He was wearing his a leather bomber with a casual shirt instead of the uniform. It's ridiculous. Obviously, they infiltrate, because she's a woman. It's like women's lib, blah blah blah. So yeah, the guy's just like, okay, I'll just let it pass. Fuck it, I can't be asked. I got so much work to do. Bring the bin on. I don't care. Let's get more scenes of them sneaking in, and yeah, you get this nice little shot where you get lovely backside parts against these explosives. Yeah, I'm just being a dirty bastard now. Fuck it. Everyone else was. So I bet that scene was deliberate.
She does have a nice little caboose, doesn't she?
Yes. It's not sexist. Even straight women appreciate a lovely woman's ass.
I couldn't possibly comment.
Yeah.
So I had a possible theory about when we were watching this, because when they were filming all of the mine stuff, and I looked around and tried to find out if I was right, and I couldn't find anything. But that shot right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Looks so much like the set from Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I was
like
thinking that as well.
With all the lights turned on, right?
Right.
And since and I was just wondering, was that a reused set from that? Because Temple of Doom had probably filmed there, maybe the year before at Pinewood?
Yeah, 1984 when there was I think it was
it wouldn't have been a reused set unless the deal was struck beforehand with the production company to have it left standing, because any shoot that's done in Pinewood as part of your contract, I can tell you now, you have to strike the set on your last day of filming.
Oh, okay.
So that when the next company comes in, that they're not having to clear out your shit.
Right.
Also, there are some sets that have been used in more than one film. I mean, just watch the Deathstalker movies. That crap half-built castle is in all of them. But it's not impossible. What you want to check, and I'm looking at this right now, is whether they had the same production designer. Now, the production designer on this was Peter Lamont, who'd done most of the Bond films. Art direction was John Fenner. So I'll have a quick look at Peter Lamont's credits, but I'm pretty sure he didn't do Temple of Doom. I mean, he did Aliens not long after this. I don't think he did Temple of Doom. And then you look at the art director. So he could have reused a lot of the same materials. There might have been things like that staircase, for example, might have been a movable prop that was kept intact, that was on runners or something. So you might have had pieces of it that could then be reused.
Yeah, it struck both me and Adam as, wow, that looks a lot like. I wonder if that was. And then I tried to look for it, any kind of information on it online, and I just couldn't find anything. But yeah.
No, I see completely what you mean. Absolutely. But yeah, he didn't work on Temple of Doom, but let me check the art director as well, or set decorator even, and see if there's any links. The set decorator also worked on Raiders of the Lost Ark, so
there's a connection there, isn't there?
Art director, sorry. The art director was John Fenner, who he'd be a great person to interview. He's done loads of movies. Those are great films, you know. Oh, well, he has done Superman 4, but hey, we've all got to have one bad. Everyone's got to have a bad day, you know.
Yes. So obviously they found out that they're going to blow the whole man and everything, and bring Silicon Valley to its knees, and there's a lot of like mechanics here as well. It's like it's just mess. Yeah, it's like it's just flooding the whole place. Yeah, it's a rip-off of the first Superman movie.
He basically just wants to kill everybody, really. All the
What
other plots just bollocks. He just wants to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Quite obviously.
That was one of the criticisms of this film, was that it took too much from other plot lines, including Goldfinger.
Yeah, Goldfinger actually had a very smart villain plot, though. I mean,
it was so the points being on this particular argument was that Goldfinger was irradiating the gold from Fort Knox, making it, worthless, and substituting his own stockpiles of gold to have a monopoly. And
make his gold more valuable than the gold. That was very clever.
Zoran's was the same thing. He wants to, rid the planet of Silicon Valley's microchips and make his the only one worthwhile. And both were backed by communists. One was Chinese, one was Russia. That was, and to me, that seemed like the weakest part of it, because when you look at it on the whole, it's definitely Superman.
Yeah, I know. It's like I said, like we said earlier, they were just working with whatever material they could, because it was a rights issue, like Lance just said. So yeah, they probably couldn't think of anything fucking implausible to pull it off with. They did what they could do, and it's all the weaker for it, unfortunately. But we do get this good scene where they're escaping, and after that we reveal that we see that Zoran is going to slaughter every single person that's worked for him. It's really brutal as well. He's proper cackling, he's laughing, everything.
Oh yeah, he is tearing it up. Christopher Walken is loving this.
Roger Moore.
Look at that. Look at that joy on that face. Yeah.
Yeah, Roger Moore wasn't very happy about it, though. I thought, maybe that was a bit too far.
Yeah, he said that was a bit too far.
But yeah, in a film that's kind of not very. What's the term? Not very great. It kind of raises the bar a little bit. And even when this place is blowing up, Grace Jones Mayday's like grabbing Stacey's.
Yeah, she's still going after her.
And ripping her, showing her legs off and exposing her dress and her legs. It feels very deliberately sexual. Not that I'm complaining, but and that fucking poor guy is trying to climb to safety, and he ends up dying anyway before getting shot.
Yeah, it's a brutal slaughter.
I know it goes on for quite a while.
Yeah,
fucking hell. Yeah, and right after he's done killing them, he's like, "Good, right on schedule."
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
All right. We're making really good time here. Go get the blimp ready.
And there's that line. Come on, say it, Barbara.
And I thought that Crete loved me.
Selling it.
Oh, I love it so much. It's so over the top.
Yeah. And it does give her a nice little moment to redeem herself as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to villains redeeming himself, this is probably one of my favorites. Yeah, obviously they got to get that last bomb on, and if that goes off, the whole thing will be submerged and Zorin wins. So the only way they can do it is they get onto the rig to get the bomb up because it's Is it magnetized?
Something.
Something, yeah, something. She's escaping. Blah blah blah.
And only Grace Jones' freakish strength can.
Yeah, because because the brake just keeps coming loose, and she has to hold it to keep it going. And she's like, "Get Zorin for me." Now you say it. You say it.
Get Zorin for me.
I love that. That's so fucking boss.
Oh, she's so excellent. I do. She tears up the scenery in this movie, and I'm here for it. She's just
I love
like
how I know.
part of this.
And I love how Bond is like really concerned. He really wants her to be safe, even though she's tried to kill him a few fucking times. It's
and it's still like, all right, you've redeemed yourself, so jump, Mayday, jump.
And he gets one last look of disbelief seeing Mayday actually stop his plans. It's like, Mayday.
Yeah.
And she smiles as well and then stops just before it all blows up.
Oh.
Yeah, damn. Goes out
R.I.P. Mayday.
Goes out like a boss. She goes out like a boss. Yeah. But she's relieved to see Bond is made out alive, and she doesn't notice a bloody loud, enormous blimp sneaking up behind her. It's like, what the hell?
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and Bond manages to catch the rope, so he's basically hanging on there all a good long while. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. All the way over to San Francisco Bay.
Yeah, to the Golden Gate.
This reminds me of that true incident with the Navy Airman and the balloon. Have you seen the footage of it? Where
no, I don't think I have.
It was accidentally pre-launched, started breaking away from its moorings, and a load of sailors grabbed onto the rope to try and keep it down. And 3 of them hung on too late, and it went right up. It was too late for them to let go. So they had to hang on or die, and only one of them made it. And there's an interview with him. You can see it all online. It's all real.
Oh my God, that is awful.
Jesus.
Yeah. Two of them couldn't hang on for that long. The third guy, when you see him being interviewed later, when they finally retrieved the balloon, God knows how long afterwards it was. It was quite a while. He was on it for a good hour or so. He was like,
hold on,
hanging on for my dear life. I don't know what, just hanging on for my dear life. I mean, it's like something out of a Laurel and Hardy film, except it's real.
Jesus.
Yeah, no.
Crazy. Well, it's crazy that.
That's why
you gotta look for
having me on. I've always got these bizarre stories.
Yeah, they're trying to shake Bond off her as well, and he catch the copper who was like pointless. Yeah, I don't know. I have no opinion on this cop character.
Oh, that scene is just. I mean, I'm just waiting for Dick Van Dyke to pop out of a chimney.
I know.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh my Roger Moore chaps! Oh bloody hell!
Yeah, I mean, there's some proper ropey green screen in this. It's not aged well, but the fight sequence up on the bridge it's not bad.
Yeah, it's a little bit intense. Like you do see James Bond struggle a little bit against a younger enemy. So I thought that was pretty good. I wish they'd done that more in the film, or like seeing older James Bond who's not as physical as he used to be, and he has to resort to more methods in order to prevail.
I think I missed it. Sorry, I was in the kitchen putting sugar on a grapefruit. That's not a euphemism.
Okay.
But,
if you say so.
The bit where listen, man, I've got it here. I can come on camera and show you. But I mean, like the bit where Tanya Roberts gets scooped up by here's my grapefruit. There you go. There you go.
Okay, man. Yeah.
When she gets scooped up by Zorin in the airship, I mean, just run to your left. Those things don't turn very quickly, Just that bit was nonsense. I remember everybody groaning in the cinema, going, "Oh my God, that's stupid."
And I don't think this could happen as well. I mean, the fact that he ties the rope around and holds it to stop the blimp. I don't know. The blimp's such a big, enormous vehicle.
The rope burns that you would have on your hands. It would just tear your skin off to ribbons.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be blood on that rope. There should.
I remember this line as well. More power.
More power. More power. Yeah.
It's just sort of like, it just sounds really weird. It's like he's going into this like bizarre Russian accent.
More cowbell.
Yeah. These
God.
sets, look, if you look at this shot here, right, all of this stuff was all done at Pinewood. So basically what they did was they reconstructed the top of the bridge, and you'll see whenever you get the actual shots of stuntmen and whatnot, and all the close-up stuff that's not done on top of the actual set. They did do some shots up there, but that's only the wide stuff when you see the airship from far away. All of the close-up stuff with all the piping and everything, that's all reconstructed. It looks good. I'll give them that.
Yeah. And yeah, Christopher Walken gets another good line. Full throttle. No, come on.
We should get Gooch to come on and say that. He does such a good impersonation of him.
Oh, I'll have to do a Christopher Walken stream with him then one day. Yeah. And this was like a year before At Close Range, where he really does get to show what a serious actor he can be. But
I bet you're glad I turned you on to At Close Range, eh?
That is such a fucking good film. That really is, man.
I've got another one for you to watch with Sean Penn in it that hardly anyone's seen. The original Bad Boys film, but by that I mean the title. Made in 1981 or 82.
Yeah, it must have been really young. This must have been before Fast Times at Richmond High then.
I think it was around the same time. It's set in it's like the American equivalent of Scum. It's set in American Young Offenders Institution. Clancy Brown is also in it.
Oh, Young Cans. You know what? I think I might have seen that somewhere. I'll check it.
If you've seen it, Clancy Brown gets taken out by somebody, leaves a radio transistor in his cell, and so the guy rigs it up with a bomb. So when he listens to it and puts it next to his head, it explodes and blows his eardrum out.
Jesus.
It's a really. I mean, Penn's acting in it is formidable. That's the first film I ever saw him in, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" It was really good.
Yeah, I know it's easy to take the piss out of him for being a bit of a miserable git, but he can really act, though. He can. There's no denying what a great actor he is, though.
I don't care about actors' politics. I
know.
Like what they do on screen. Unless they're endorsing mass murder or something stupid. I don't care whether they're liberal, left, right, whatever. But just do a good job in the films I want to watch.
I know. Just stick to acting. It's one.
So there you go. That shot there. That's the set. That's a set.
Yeah, you can sort of see it a little bit. Like it's not totally high, but they a little bit of tricky editing with the projection scenes where you see the actual bottom of the Golden Gate. It's
all the angles are all shooting up slightly. It's always like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, tricks you into thinking it's higher than it actually is.
It's very well done.
Yeah,
cut it together with the real bridge. And this guy's got a girly pistol, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's trying to get the other guy to go off after him, but she knocks him out. So now he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta do it myself." Yeah, fucking hell.
Gotta get out there. Yeah.
Fight on the bridge, like men.
That's really like about 6 feet up. I think they built this set in the water tank at Pinewood because the water tank's got a massive big white wall backdrop behind it to make it look like it's the horizon, like that does. I think they built it in the water tank.
Yeah, and I love this bit as well, because he does actually laugh at his own death as well. It's weird. Yeah, no, it's. I was like watching this. I remember watching this as a kid, thinking, "Okay, that's really fucking weird." It's like,
and here comes Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, Grandpa Yahtzee. Look, he's just laughing before he falls to his head.
Yeah. But,
I don't know why it makes me laugh.
Doesn't he get the bright idea of lighting a stick of dynamite?
Yes, he goes against the spare dynamite.
Like, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
How are you going to kill the secret agent, but not kill your surrogate son?
Right.
Are you going to chuck it in the air just at the right distance at the right time?
I know.
So the radius of the explosion only blows off Roger Moore's toupee, or what's happening here? It's total bollocks. That's the sort of stuff that I just thought, come on, we're at Keystone Cops again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whereas the fight here is not bad. It's kind of cool. And then, you've got this guy going, "Wah! Hey!"
Yeah. He's got a Wile E. Coyote stick of dynamite as well.
This is the sort of plan that Grandpa Simpson would come up with in The Simpsons.
Yeah. You like that man like someone at the bridge? I'm gonna play it with dynamite. Yeah, and he ends up getting blown up. It's like,
great bit of model work by Derek Meddings. That the airship blowing up. That's a miniature.
Yeah, even though you can tell it's models, I don't care. At least it's physically there.
Real model work looks way better than.
Yeah.
I love miniatures. I stand by practical effects. All the time. It's so much better. It just looks so much better.
Yeah. Another quality made product. Oh, this film is bad, but it's so charming. There is still a charm to this movie, as bad as it is, though. You just can't help but laugh at the stupid stuff. But yeah, all the villains are vanquished. Bond has won, and Bond gets a nice little dumb one-liner. There's never a cab when you want one. And General Gogo's about to award him with the Award of Lenin, even though Bond practically killed some of his men at the beginning of the movie. It's like,
bygones will be bygones. Here's an award.
Yeah, I don't think his men will feel the same as like, he was my best friend, and you're giving him an award. You're heartless.
Yeah.
Even though you've killed 7 Russian agents in the past, Bond, and some of them work for me personally, here's an award for you. Yeah.
Yes. Well, they're all assholes anyway. I don't care.
But I mean, I know what they're doing there. They were trying to foster a bit of Rocky IV East-West good relations in the time of the Cold War, which I don't think is a bad gesture in the movie. I think it's all right.
Yeah,
he gives the film good continuity, having his character in it as well.
Yeah, he's still a likable character.
Mark away from Gorbachev, so
yeah. I always loved his line in Spy Who Loved Me. What else is there for me to do? Nothing but problems. Problems here. Pans to gorgeous woman waiting in his bed.
And yeah, this is the last time we see Lois Maxwell as Moneypenny now.
Oh, was it? This is her last one.
Yeah.
This was their very last one, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, because they had the blonde with the glasses in the Dalton films, didn't they?
Yeah. This complete knockout as Moneypenny as well. She was almost harder than half the other Bond girls from previously. She was,
Yeah,
but
she didn't.
But she did. She did. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see her develop properly with Timothy Dalton, in my opinion. She's like, she's there, she flirts with Bond a bit, but that's it. She doesn't feel like. I mean, Lois Maxwell actually brought a bit more personality to her Moneypenny.
No, she was good because she'd been in it for so long.
Yeah,
as well.
I know.
She transitioned through, 3 people playing the role.
Yeah,
and was talking with Barbara about this as well. She was almost going to be. Moneypenny was almost going to be the next Q, the next M before Judi Dench.
You know what? That would have worked really well, but didn't she get diagnosed with cancer and had to drop out or something?
Oh, I don't know.
She suggested it to Broccoli, but
Barbara.
And they nixed it and said no, they're not ready for a female M or some bullshit or whatever.
And when they are, it's going to be Judi Dench.
And they were.
No.
And I love her as M. I thought she was great.
I'll save them for another time, but I've got loads of stories about Judi, and I've got several pictures of me and her together. Perfectly normal pictures, just to put that in context. Normal, wholesome.
As far as we know.
No, I've met her many times.
Judy's got the negative. She's not letting anything happen.
I tell you what, she's got a mischievous sense of humor, but she's one of the kindest, warmest human beings you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
Especially
we all love Judy. We do. I don't know anyone who hates her. Even when she's in a bad film, she always makes it work.
You'll never hear a bad word said about her in the industry. Never. She treats everybody well. When I met her, actually, the first time I met her was at her husband's funeral, because when her husband got diagnosed with cancer, I'd been in a film with him and I wrote to him. And I'll tell you this story quickly. And when I got to the service, it was packed. I mean, it was everybody, in the British film industry was there. And this American woman got out of a taxi with a crutch. Just as I came there, running there from the tube, thinking, oh God, it's going to start in 5 minutes. And I saw her hobbling towards the door, and I said, "Oh, can I help you?" And, "Oh yes, young man, thanks very much," except in an American accent, which I won't try and do. And she grabbed my arm, and it was standing room only, right? And then somebody saw us and went, and she just went, "This is my son. He needs to sit with me." And I was like, I only met her 30 seconds ago. So we ended up sitting on the front row, just opposite Judi Dench and her daughter, with all of, Kenneth Branagh and all this. So we were also the last people to come out as a result of that, because it emptied out back first. And Judy was there thanking every single person that came in person. There must have been 900 people there. And I said, "Hi, Judy, I don't know if you know who I am, but I wrote to Michael." "You're Lance that wrote him those letters." "Oh my God, it's so nice to meet." She knew exactly who I was. She knew all about the letters, everything. And every time I'd go and see her in a play in London, I'd go around to the back and stage door, and Lance to see Judy. "Oh yes, go on up." And you go in her dressing room. She's got a tray of champagne with her assistant. And one time I was on some pretty heavy medication. I just got out of hospital. I said, "I can't have any champagne, Judy. Not today. I'm on some meds." "Don't talk bollocks, Lance. Don't talk bollocks. This is fine champagne, and you'll have some. It's very good for you. Better than medication." So I was like, okay.
And she's right.
It was right. It was bloody good champagne, and it didn't affect my meds, so it was fine. So
she just seems like one of the most delightful people you could ever meet.
Oh, I wrote a film script for her, and I tried hell and earth to get it made. And she knows. She's seen it because we did a recording of it with everybody reading the parts, and I sent it to her on her birthday. So, but she can't read now. She's lost her eyesight now. So,
has she?
She's still working. She's still working. She has people read scripts out for her, and her daughter Finty, I've spoken to a number of times, and she's an actress as well. So, anyway, back to the Bond movie.
Yeah, well, it was finishing. Yeah, so the thing that Bond is dad, but nah, it turns out he's getting his rocks off with Tanya Roberts, and Q comes in with his hairy little bloody Canaan rip-off anyway. And we get this weird line. Yeah, we get this weird line as well, saying a little bit of soap here, a little bit of soap there. "Oh, drat, I've dropped the soap. I'll get it. That's not the soap."
It's
coming out of a bad.
It's very, very clunky dialogue.
I know, that sounds like something off a Carry On movie. It really does.
Or one of those, fantasy romance novels, that would being chucked Barbara Cartman books or something. So I've got Desmond Llewellyn's biography, by the way, and the picture on the front of it. It's in the shed, but I'll dig it out for you next time I'm in there. Has got this robot on the front. He's sitting on the floor, and all of the gadgets. He got to keep all the gadgets. That was the Broccoli's let him keep them all.
Really?
Yeah. So they were in his personal collection.
That is fantastic.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
And it was so annoying because the week I got his book, the person who bought it for me as a Christmas present could have got it signed by him for an extra tenner, but they didn't. And it was the week before his car crash, just before he passed away.
Oh no!
So I nearly had a signed copy, but I've got a signed copy of Roger Moore's autobiography. But yeah, really lovely man, Desmond Llewellyn. Really lovely.
Yeah, Roger Moore used to proper prank him, the poor git, because he he knew nothing about technology and gizmos and that in real life, and he always had trouble reading the lines. And Roger Moore would actually get some of the script writers and the crew in on the joke and make his dialogue even more complicated. And every time he failed to deliver his lines, everyone would just start pissing themselves laughing, and he'd fall for it every time. It's hello.
I'm
sorry,
still
just
here. I'm still
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I was just muting myself so you don't hear me eating my grapefruit very loud.
Yeah. Roger Moore used to prank the fuck out of Q all the time. All the time, it was every film he'd fall for the same jokes, and I don't know. It just makes me like Roger Moore and Desmond as well, because he seemed to have a fondness for Roger, even though he would practically take the piss out of him. So yeah, and the fact that he knew nothing about gizmos and gadgets and all that, and still managed to pull off his dialogue like an expert, like he does know these things, shows what a great actor he really was.
Yeah, to me, he is Q.
Yeah, he's still the best Q. I mean, Ben Whishaw was okay though, even though
I don't like Ben Whishaw.
I didn't mind him. I didn't mind him.
I understand why they didn't keep John Cleese in the role. They brought John Cleese in.
Yeah, I do like John Cleese better.
He's a comedy actor, but perfect for the part.
Perfect for the part. I agree. I don't understand why they didn't hold on to him, because I thought he was fine as Q. But
yeah, and he would have needed the money because he was going through about 5 divorces at the time or something. So,
probably.
No, he's had terrible luck with women, Cleese.
But for me, Desmond Llewellyn is just, he is Q.
Yeah,
he's
just fantastic. Technophobe in real life. Like you said, he didn't know, back front of a computer. And his wife, by the way, hated him doing the Bond films. She thought, she thought they got him typecast, and she thought they never paid him enough. And it's in his biography, he talks about that at length, and that she always kind of felt that they didn't. That towards the end they should have paid him a lot more, and I think that's why he decided to do the biography, to make a bit more money off the back of it. But he did a lot of pantos where, the panto posters was always say, featuring M from the Bond films as the genie in Aladdin in Eastbourne this Christmas. So he didn't stop acting, but it was a lot. He did a lot, mainly theatre outside of the Bond movies.
Yeah, and right now we're just come on to the end of the film now, because it's a very unfortunately a dismal ending towards Roger Moore's last tenure as Bond, and I think he really did deserve better.
Yeah,
once again, Octopussy should have been the last one.
Octopussy should have been his swan song. Definitely not this.
I know. Plus, he looks like he looks like his natural self as well. Like unlike here, where he had that weird facelift, which almost made him look a little bit unrecognizable.
What they could have done instead of this terrible script is they could have had a really good passing of the baton film, where the opening scene is maybe a mission that goes slightly wrong, because he's getting a bit past it, bit of a similar sort of setup to Thunderball, but gets invited into M's office, says, look, we're going to move you, and you're reclassified, you're now 0012. 0012, so isn't that the person that heads up training? Exactly. And you're going to train the new 007. And then you have the next actor come in, somebody, around 35 or whatever, and the whole story is him training them up. Maybe they end up accidentally having to go on a mission together, whatever. That could have been a good final one for Moore to do if he had to do one after Octopussy. But they didn't have me as their scriptwriter, so unfortunately it didn't happen.
Yeah, probably could do one of those videos where you rewrite a film and how it could have been improved, maybe something like that. Because we do get videos like that as well. It's like I said,
I could do that in my sleep, man. I could do that in my sleep.
Yeah, because having an older Bond is a good idea, you know. Like he can't always rely on his physical strength as much as he used to, so he still has to resort to other methods in order to prevail. And it would have been a great thing that really got the audience on edge, but made the experience more rewarding when he finally does triumph.
And the comedy could have come from things like, you know, they have to go out to a club or something to meet the nightclub owner. Roger Moore turning up in his safari jacket, really out of date cultural wear, and the younger guy being really on it with a, you know, Dolce and Gabbana proper tailor-made suit. What are you dressed as? And you could have had some fun with that, where it's showing his character's kind of out of touch. Even the way he tries to chat up women, and then he gets a slap across the face. It worked in the other 7 films. I mean, maybe that would have gone too far in the realms of comedy, but
yeah, because you see, I know, because you see Roger Moore and Patrick McManus sort of dressing up younger than they should be. I mean, seeing Patrick in that big oversized bomber leather jacket in the stable scene, it's very distracting. It looks like he's going through a midlife crisis, the poor fella. And he obviously did not want to wear that by choice.
No.
He shows up with a Corvette instead of a Rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, shows up dressed like bloody Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice or something.
I think the thing with this film is it had the good elements are,
the
casting on the whole was pretty good. The supporting actors on the whole are pretty good. There are a couple of people who maybe don't make their mark, but they're not important. All the important parts are well cast. You've got your music by John Barry, of course. So it's the usual John Barry fare, a slight variation of a previous John Barry theme, but it's still solid. John Glenn, decent director. Action is reasonable. Cinematography, Alan Hume, one of the best DOPs in the business. So all the elements are there. It's just, unfortunately, the script just doesn't really hold up. The pacing of the film is a bit, and this is one of the. It's off, isn't it? The pacing of the film is
way
off. The other thing for me is this is one of the first. I wouldn't say it's the first, but Moonraker did it a little bit. But it's one of the first Bond movies that starts breaching what I call the rules of its own reality, and the biggest sinner in that camp was the last Brosnan one, the one with Halle Berry, invisible cars, all of that. Brosnan skiing off of an ice floe with that terrible CGI shot that looks like it was made by a 12-year-old on a ZX Spectrum.
Yeah, Brosnan deserved better. He really did.
But it's you're presenting stuff that isn't believable in the real world. The thing about Bond is you believe he could exist over that hill, somewhere over there. Not quite in reality, but in a reality that we can believe in. But once you start putting, laser guns and invisible cars and him skiing off of a mountain with a parachute, cool. Him jumping off an ice floe in a suit in an improvised skiing device with a parachute that was previously attached to a missile. Fuck off.
Yeah.
We just don't buy that.
So
Excuse my French, but you just don't buy that. And there's a few things in this that strum into that reality. And unfortunately, one of them is the bad guy's plan. We just don't really buy into all these people would go along with this psychopath, even his top henchman, which is the way they counter that is by Grace Jones's character, Mayday, realizing, okay, this guy's a lunatic. Actually, I'm going to stop him. That's one of the best things about the film, because that's believable that would happen in the world that they've created. Not what's not believable is the fact that everybody else would still go along with it. And yeah, so it's got a good song. It's got one of the best songs. The View to a Kill song is one of the best Bond songs.
It's a banger.
Yeah, it's good.
I love it. And we're coming up to the 3-hour mark, so I'm going to stop it there. And Barbara, thanks for joining me. And
it's
Lance,
a delight.
I was only going to pop in for 20 minutes, man.
But you pretty much. You've been a very welcome guest.
Yeah,
I know.
I always learn so much from you, Lance. Every time you're on a stream, I marvel at how many stories you have.
Oh my God,
it's
it's
just
unreal.
phenomenal.
I've had quite an eventful life.
It's almost like you could have written a book.
Yeah,
Go ahead and plug it.
Yeah,
that was
a book called
that was needed.
No, not 1988. No,
1988
no.
is the one that is the 1988 is the one that film people would like. I've got another book out next week, which is called Waiting for Hillsborough, which is the play I did about the Hillsborough football disaster. All my plays are being published now. And there's a big section at the front of it about how it all came to happen and what inspired it. And actually, that story is probably more fascinating than the play itself. And all the reviews are in there. We had a big book at the theatre where people could write comments. I found that book in the shed, and so all the comments are also all in the book. And so it's kind of the whole history of the play is in there. So that's out, but it may have limited appeal to Barbara's side of the pond, but it's a very, very interesting story.
Yes, and since you've already plugged that, I don't think I need to ask you to promote that right now. You've already done that, so I will go straight. I will go straight to Barbara now. What do you have anything you want to promote before
I'm just going to be doing my own show with my husband tomorrow night at B-Sides at B-Roll Stage. We're going to be doing I want to say we're doing a Charlie Chan movie, but I'm not entirely certain. I'll have to ask him.
Well, I've got you subscribed anyway, so it'll probably show up. And anyone in the chat who hasn't subscribed, please do so to both Barbara and Lance of the Outcast Creative.
I subscribed to you today. I subscribed to you today, bro. I thought I'd subbed to you already, but I hadn't apparently. So because anyone
I am already subbed to you, so
anyone who does a review of Killdozer, I'm gonna support their channel. That's it. I bet you've done the car as well. You've done the car.
No,
as well,
we haven't done the car yet.
Oh, get me on for that. I'll be up for that.
Oh, Adam's listening, so
yeah,
Adam does all the technical stuff. I just show up and make jokes. So
yeah. Thanks everyone in chat for joining me. Nix, Barbara, Toxic, Atom, who else? Yeah,
we got the
Nick,
Mighty Jeff Robot. CLS.
Yeah, you had a few people.
Mighty Jeff Robot. Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, I should say. And yeah, so everybody, right now, once again, great stream, great guest. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Lance, for joining me. You've been beautiful. For having me. Yep, and right now that's me done, and I'm off to bed. So I will see you, and good night.